Okay, we got it playing, and press play now. Warner Brothers Shield, man, puts it up there. We got it running on caption because we just watched it. We don't want the audio, A, to interfere with the recording, and B, we don't want Warner Brothers being like, give us money for the fucking audio of Batman. The opening credit sequence is basically, spoilers if you've never seen it. They're going through this big stone version of the bat symbol, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is nowhere else in the movie.
No.
It's
never.
not like, hey, man, this is the thing that's on the case where he puts his suit. Nothing. This is just it. But, and if you're just looking at it without the sound, you're like, come on, man, there's better use of time for this. But what was fantastic about it was the whole movie just starts with Elfman's score.
Yeah. I mean, it totally set the tone for Batman for at least the rest of these movies, the first four cycles.
Look at this, based upon characters appearing in magazines published.
Periodicals published by the DC Comics team.
But then there's comics. Maybe they just didn't want to say comics twice, like Batman publishing comics by DC Comics. But go ahead, what were you saying?
No, I mean, even the animated series took its cue entirely, especially musically, from him, from Danny Elfman.
This was, Danny Elfman now to a lot of people in this day and age, kind of like John Williams at this point, a guy who has composed the scores of all their favorite fucking movies growing up. But this is it, man. The first and well, it wasn't his first. He did the score
Pee-wee.
first. Pee-wee's. He did Scrooged.
He did Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice as well.
And he did.
But this was the breakout. This is the one. Yeah, before all that, he was in Oingo Boingo. Prince does songs for this, and we'll get into that later on. But this was Danny Elfman's breakout, and this is a pièce de résistance. This score is fantastic.
This is the reason why I started listening to film scores. I bought it and would listen to it in my car and driving to school and just bombing down streets. Yeah.
Oh, the charge of the Batmobile. It's such I like what they did with the Dark Knight movies score, but this score it's a march, and that's what a lot of the scores of our youth were. You could do the score for this. Dun-dun-dun-dun. You could do the score for Superman. Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. You could do Star Wars. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Raiders.
Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. But I couldn't do fucking
Nolan's.
Yeah.
No.
Dun. You need somebody behind you, coming up with a little rhythm or whatever, a little melody.
Gotham City.
All right, we're past the credits, man. Here's Anton Furst's Gotham City. If you've ever read the script written by Sam Hamm and Warren Scarron came in behind him, I think Warren Scarron came in because he worked with Tim Burton on Beetlejuice. I think he was one of the writers of Beetlejuice. But Sam Hamm's script said, Gotham, it looks like hell has erupted from the pavements and shit. And Anton Furst, the set designer, production designer, took his cues from that script and designed this world that they built on a soundstage. This is, for the first four Batman movies, Chris Nolan takes it out into the real world, shoots it in Chicago, Pittsburgh, stuff like that. But for the stage-based Batman movies, I always felt this opening sequence was the absolute most convincing they ever got for Gotham. This actually looks pretty close to a city. When you get to the daylight shit, holy Christ. It looks like my backyard, and it looks like only 50 people live in Gotham.
Yeah. The thing that I took away from it is it looks like such a small movie.
Yeah.
Despite the size, because you see this Monarch Theater in the background 8 or 9 other times in this movie.
It's in the background of every shot.
We got an intersection. Let's shoot the fuck out of it.
If you watch a movie with no volume, man, you'd think that the whole plot is about how Batman's got to stop the Joker from taking over the Monarch Theater, because it is in almost every fucking shot. This is Tim Burton took a wise decision. Classic approach with the look of the characters. You don't quite know what era this is.
No.
Looks 50s-ish, a lot of Art Deco and stuff. Great choice, because this movie was made in 1989. And if everyone dressed like they did in 1989, this would be impossible to watch. It would be like Miami Vice with masks.
Yeah.
Think about it. When they made that movie, the way fuckers dressed, oh God. But at least with this, they took a kind of classic approach where it's like, oh, nobody looks like this now. They look like that. You get a little Tim Burton cartoony thing going on.
Animated Batman.
And an animated Batman who watches a crime go down and then doesn't try to stop the crime, just goes to beat ass in this opening sequence, which I remember being like, this is fucking amazing. But when you think about it, he doesn't do the Batman thing, which is go down and stop the young the family and their kid from getting fucking mugged and shit.
Right. Which you would think he would, since this was such an obvious homage to his own origin story.
He's apparently looking from the rooftop going, fucking, I've been there. Yeah. And not going, you kid. Yeah, fucking, don't cry to me, Argentina. I know what that feels like. But instead of swooping in and being like, I should stop this, it's just like, fuck, it's still happening. Can't believe it. So what does he do? He shows up on a rooftop to grab the perps. This entrance is fantastic. I got to learn to stop using the word fantastic. I overuse it. I love this entrance so much. It's so Gretzky. There it is. I'm going to take fantastic, go to Gretzky.
Are these like plague punks in Gotham? I mean, these guys look like hollow eyes, red rim. They got like moles around there. Like, what's going on in Gotham?
This is 3 days after 28 days later. So there's a few people who still have the fucking, the disease or whatever. Yeah, these cats look weird, but I'm convinced that the one guy who's like, man, you shouldn't have turned a gun on that kid, man. You shouldn't have done it. I think he looks like a dude who fights Batman and Batman Begins as well. At one point I was watching and going, could they have really got that guy back? Then I realized he'd be like 60 at this point. Right. Maybe 50. This is Batman. The first time you see Batman in action in Tim Burton's Batman, where bam, he kicks a dude fucking through the door. And then this guy he grabs with Batarang. Come on, imagine being in 1989, first time you've seen a Batarang on camera that's not like the Adam West Batarang. You just filled
your pants right now.
Oh, you're just like, it's snapped open. It looks real. It's got razor edges. But meanwhile, again, I want to point out, didn't stop the crime, came up here, didn't retrieve their shit to bring it back to him.
Nope.
Just came up to be like, I know what you did. I'm going to kick your friend through a fucking door, and I'm going to tell you I know what you did. I'm not even going to punish you. I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to step off the rooftop. Goodbye.
Yeah, see you later.
Not a very Batman move.
Crime not fought.
No, not at all. Crime, if anything, just like, there's a new player in town. I guess he wants to wet his beak a little or something.
Acting.
Yeah, look at that. He's like, I can't believe it. A man in a bathtub. Now look at this.
Oh, Billy D.
The movie that could have been.
Oh.
Right there, they rub it in your face, man. Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian himself, which ties this to a fucking another massive franchise. Right in your face, man. There he is. Harvey Dent for a new Gotham. And anybody who knows Batman, you know, if you're like my parents and you go see this movie, you're like, oh, it's Billy D. Williams from Lady Sings the Blues.
Yes, from Mahogany.
Yeah, the Colt 45 commercials. But if you're me, if you're a comic book fan, you're like, holy shit, that's Lando. And holy shit, Lando is going to be Two-Face. How can Lando be Two-Face? You can't be two things. But Lando was Two-Faced in Empire. So you're like, maybe Tim Burton sat there and he's like, look, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I think Lando was Two-Faced. So I'm going to cast him as Two-Face.
This deal's getting worse all the time.
He pops in for one movie and then that's
no, he's in the next one. He's also in the next one.
Where?
I mean, there's some whatever, like Harvey Dent still fighting crime, but yeah, he shows up. Like, I think the whole plan was by the third Burton movie
that he was going to be
turn evil, and it never happened.
Do you think he was sitting there all the time going like, I'm going to put up with all this I got to sit through this fucking Penguin movie, but by movie 3, I'm going to show them what I showed Diana Ross. I'm going to act my ass off and shit, and then they're like, we changed directors.
Oops.
He's like, fuck.
Harvey Dent's now Tommy Lee Jones.
Who's the new director? Joel Schumacher. Fuck. I'm ruined. I was supposed to be Harvey Dent. I have one of these pins that say Harvey Dent for Gotham from the movie.
Nice.
The one that you see on Commissioner Gordon's chest later on when they're at the Axis chemical plant. All right, man. Here in the movie, we're seeing Jack Nicholson as Jack Napier, Joker before he's the Joker. Acting, he is acting, opposite Jerry Hall.
Who's not acting.
Holy crap. There are 2 women in all of Gotham when you watch this movie. One is Vicky Vale, Kim Basinger, and the other is Jerry Hall here.
Whoever she plays.
By the end of the movie, she's gone. So the only woman left in Gotham is Vicky Vale. But I suspect that maybe they put her in there to make Kim Basinger seem like an even better actress.
Yeah. Or maybe like in case Kim Basinger sucked, they could just slide her up. Like,
here, you next.
We need 2 Veronica Lake looking blondes.
Were you a former model? Fine, jump in here. Originally, it wasn't supposed to be Kim Basinger. It was Sean Young.
Oh.
Sean Young was cast as Vicky Vale. I believe there's footage somewhere in the Warner Brothers vaults of Sean Young as Vicky Vale. She was on a horse because there was a sequence where they were going to go horse riding or some such shit. This is some of the worst ADR in the history of movies right here. Eckhart, they took this dude's voice out, replaced it, periodically in the movie you hear his real voice, but right now it's like, Christ, Knox, you useless imitation. It's so strange. This is the dude who actually played, he was in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he was in Star Wars.
He's one of the top.
This is another
Porkins?
fucking, yes.
Is that fucking Porkins?
This is another fucking tie-in to Star Wars right there, man. It's Porkins, and they took Porkins' voice away from him, just like in Star Wars. They stripped him as a fucking voice. It's so weird. This already, reputation. But later on in the movie, like when he talks to Nicholson maybe or somebody else. Yeah, Nicholson coming up in the like next few scenes. They let him use his own voice, and you're like, why? Yeah, like what? Whose fucking mistake was this? But anyway, going back to Sean Young, she's on a horse, I think, falls off the horse, twists her ankle or whatever.
Can't do it.
Can't do the movie anymore. They're like, we got to move on. I'm sorry. And she's like, well, I want to be involved and shit. I love Batman. And they were like, next time. That's why she showed up in the Catwoman outfit in Tim Burton's office at Warner Brothers going, I want to play Selena Kyle. Because she had been in fucking Batman for a minute. And then out she went. And then Kim Basinger comes in. Kim Basinger, who John Peters, the guy, I tell that story about working on Superman. John Peters, he was a good producer of that movie. He was a producer of this movie. Like, I would quiz him about this movie all the time. That's why I took the job. Because holy shit, like the guy that made Batman. And he would talk about the characters. He would talk about the people in the movie, the actors or actresses, but he'd refer to them by their characters' names. Like at one point he was telling me, he's like, you know I dated Vicky Vale, right? And I was like, you know Vicky Vale's not real, right? He was like, Kim Basinger. I was like, oh, yeah. But he would talk about her in her character name to me all the time.
I don't know, you ever call her Vicky Vale.
He'd be like, so me, Jack Nicholson, and Vicky Vale went to a Lakers game. I was like, she has a name.
Was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer there too?
Yeah. How many other
was there?
Fictional fucking characters were at this game? So he periodically, I'll pop in with shit that he told me. But one of the things he told me about, man, was like he was dating Vicky Vale during this at one point. And I was like, good for you, man, I guess. What does this have to do with Superman? Right here, though, this is the scene where Eckhart's voice is not Eckhart. And there, see this dude, Bob the Goon, who's Jack Napier's right-hand man? That's one of the pimpest exits in film history where he's like laughing and grins and he kind of stays just facing him. Don't go profile the exit frame. He just, kind of motors out. Why they replaced that dude's voice, I have no fucking idea. But that dude, Bob the Goon, man, one of the fathers of Silent Bob.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was a big fan of this. The other father is Bob in Twin Peaks, with Bob at the end of the bed. We're like, my name is Mike, his name is Bob. But this was before I wrote fucking Clerks, obviously, and you know, I just went with Bob. I mean, I'm more creative than that. Why I chose Bob? There were no Bobs in my life, but I went for fucking Bob, and this Bob the Goon is one of the fathers of Silent Bob. Right there, you saw the most Mayor Koch lookingest extra in the history of fucking film.
Are you sure it's not actually Mayor Koch?
It could very well be. That guy that they cast as the mayor of Gotham looks like the old mayor of New York, Ed Koch. And there he is on the steps. Oh, Bob Kane, little cameo by Bob Kane, actually drew a version of a Batman. But Robert Wuhl, of course, playing Alexander Knox, character that doesn't exist in the comics at all. A creation for the average moviegoer. He's your guide through the labyrinth that is the comic book world of Batman, I guess.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I always got the sense that they wanted him to be like the Eddie Murphy of this. Like, listen, you're a funny guy. We're not going to give you any real dialogue. Yeah, I mean, he was a stand-up comic. He was Arliss.
That's true.
It's like, come on, just bring something to it. And he brought nothing to it. So he just kind of sits there.
Yeah, or it was like, they were like, come on, man, bring him. He'll bring some funny.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the way, somebody sat him down like, we're trying to do this serious. Don't be fucking funny. Dial it back.
Yeah, so no bananas in the tailpipe? No, Robert, no bananas in the tailpipe.
That's true. Why didn't they just get Eddie Murphy? I guess he would have been too big at this point. But yeah, that's right, man. This is Robert Wuhl before Arliss. I guess this is what created Arliss, right?
Yeah.
You were in Batman. Here's your own HBO show.
You're funny-ish.
He is the guy though, he has one of the lines in the trailer too, where he's like, is there a 6-foot bat in Gotham City? But big feature in this movie, not a character from the comics. Vicky Vale was a character from the comics.
Totally.
Commissioner Gordon, the Joker, of course, Jack Napier, not necessarily a comic version of the Joker or never referenced prior to this. I believe the Jack Napier identity of Joker is tied directly to this movie. Like, this is where it originates. But Jack Nicholson's deal was any derivative Joker he gets a piece of. So if they called like their Joker Jack Napier, like in one of the comic books or something like that, he would be entitled to a piece of that because it was derivative of his Joker. Man, that dude he made a lot of money off playing the Joker. But to be fair, he's great. He fucking chews the scenery. He's wonderful. It's essentially fucking like somewhere somebody was just like, let's get the guy from The Shining to play the Joker. Like, what about him? Not? He was crazy. And he also played fucking the devil in Witches of Eastwick. So, you know, he'd already played like some big baddies and done it with some delicious malevolence, you know, a bit of fun to it. So I guess it was kind of a brilliant choice and just a matter of could we convince him to put on the face gear, because it's not as simple as Heath Ledger, you know, had some cut marks on him. He just painted his face. This is a flat out face gear prosthetic that he has to put on. But he got paid handsomely for it, man. But it's not to say like this guy phoned it in and took the money and ran. He earned every penny. Like he did a tremendous job, because the movie, as you've seen, really shouldn't be called Batman.
No, we are what now? Like 20 minutes into this movie?
It should be called. Yeah, we're at 16-minute.
We have not seen Bruce Wayne yet.
Is that right? Yeah, you're right. We haven't been introduced to the character of Bruce Wayne.
No, like it's just everybody else.
And Batman, we spent like a minute with.
Yeah, at best.
It's kind of like a soap opera. And then really the movie might as well be called The Joker, because you do spend a good amount of time here. I like this moment though, because later on Nicholson does it back at him when he's like, "You are my number one guy." Do you think fucking Jack Palance, this is the legendary actor Jack Palance, he won an Oscar for City Slickers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he'd been an actor for years and years. He was the guy that when he got his Oscar, he was like, look how fit I am. And he did push-ups on the stage. And
he's
shit.
the man who shot Liberty Valance.
That's right.
He's Liberty Valance.
Yeah, he's got an ancient career in film. Legendary. But do you think you saw that scene later on when Nicholson does him? And he's like, fuck you. Who do you think? I can do you.
Yeah, you prick.
Yeah, like you're easily imitatable. But that was a pretty cool scene between like a dude who Jack Nicholson probably liked or looked up to, Jack Palance or Palance at one point in his life before he was an actor and shit. So I'm sure he probably got off on that scene. There's a very limited interaction between Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton ever.
Yeah.
One scene where they're out of costume. The rest of the time, it's like Batman and Joker time. Here we are, Wayne Manor. Big charity balls going on and whatnot. Save the festival. That's the backdrop to this whole story of Batman. They're having the 200th Gotham anniversary, and the festival's threatened by organized crime.
Although, you know, like I've seen this movie 87 times, and I've never put that together before.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
Because it just sits there in the background. Like, if you don't notice, it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
It's about these two guys who might punch each other at some point.
No, it's like, what's it about? It's about a dude who likes a lady. It's a love triangle.
It's a romance.
It's actually a love square, because it's like Alexander Knox loves Vicky Vale.
Right.
Vicky Vale loves Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne loves Vicky Vale, but he loves fucking punching crime in its turkey neck. And then on top of it, you got, there was another one. Someone else.
Well, Joker loves Vicky Vale.
Joker loves Vicky Vale. And of them all, he's probably, while being the most homicidal, the most interesting.
Yeah.
Like, go with that guy. Bet you he's a wild fuck. All right, so here's the first meeting between Vicky Vale and our first introduction to Bruce Wayne at this point. And for my money, Michael Keaton, I would have said right before I watched this, Michael Keaton is the greatest fucking Bruce Wayne there ever was. Michael Keaton does a really good job. Is he the greatest? No. Kevin Conroy, probably the greatest Batman ever lived.
I mean, he does a good job, but there's so little asked of him.
Yes.
You know, like, there's no torture at all to this Bruce Wayne.
He's distracted. What I like about his Bruce Wayne is he's distracted, but you don't have to be as good a detective as the Dark Knight to figure out something's up with Bruce Wayne. He's very distracted, and he's usually, and when his butler comes up to talk to him, he's usually like, "This way, sir."
No, you want to go to the other bathroom.
Something secret in front of people, sir. In this way that just cries out. If you're in the room, you'd be like, all right, what was that all about?
Yeah. Is there, you guys fucking? Like what?
Yeah, what's in the other room, man? Is that butler going to blow you? Do you get blowies from your butler?
Sweet.
Is that why you pay a butler? Because why would you?
Servant.
Like, some people work 9 to 5, you let them go home. Why do you make this guy live with you?
Late night handies.
Have you watched, speaking of late night handies, man, have you watched the late night handy that is the Saturday morning handy of Beware the Batman yet?
I saw one episode of it.
Watch the most recent. They do the origin of Metamorpho.
Ooh.
And it's really good. It's their first, I think they've hit, like, you know, they're only 6 episodes in, but they're finding their footing. And this one is like the one that has the most emotion to it, as well as all the action.
Yeah, because I saw the one with Anarchy, and I was a little like, meh.
Fine,
Okay,
but more definitely like I'm running and punching shit and fucking people are getting hit. The Metamorpho one has pathos to it and stuff. It's kind of sweet. All right, so back to this fucking movie.
Never for a second do I buy this Bruce Wayne as a dude who traveled the deepest, darkest Orient to learn secrets from ancient martial artists to bring to bear in his fight against crime. Like he's not that guy.
And they never say it in the movie, but it's kind of implied here where right now Knox is talking about the suits of armor and he's just like, where'd this one come from? And you hear Bruce Wayne joins him as he does right there. And he's like, it's Japanese. I'm like, how do you know? He's like, because I bought it in Japan, which is the only hint of I've been elsewhere and maybe got some training to do this shit that I do at night.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like, is there a dojo next to the Monarch Theater that you go to like twice a week?
It's true. They really do away with all that shit, with all the like, how did he get to this point? They do it in a flashback of like, my parents were killed. They never talk about training.
Never talking about driven passion, like the mania that is Batman. Like, fuck, I'm just a guy who's got money.
The one point he actually says, like, you know, when scandalously spoilers, Vicky Vale winds up in the Batcave. He has that conversation with her where he's like, I tried to avoid all this, but I can't. That's the closest he gives you for like, I am Batman.
Right.
Other than when he tells the guy on the roof, I'm Batman. Okay, so here they are talking to Knox. She's met him, but now he's actually copping to being Batman. He busts her balls here about her fucking photos, man.
But Corto Maltese.
Yeah, he mentions Corto Maltese, which if you're a comic book fan and you've read The Dark Knight Returns, you're like, holy shit, that means maybe one day they'll get to Dark Knight Returns. Yeah. But he does bust her balls. He's just like, you take great pictures, but now you're here covering the Batman. And he's like, isn't that a little light after the Warren Corto Maltese and shit? She's like, what do you do for a living? He's just like, well, I got a blowy butler. What do I fucking need?
And I got a like Citizen Kane warehouse of wine downstairs. What do I care?
And what were they talking about? Is like, should we open 6? Like 6 cases or 6 bottles?
6 cases, I think.
Really?
Champagne. What do you think? 4? 5?
Yeah, he's like 6. Like, yeah, 6 is good. And that counts for dialogue. Where they're like, let's leave that in. That's cool. Like that whole 6 back and forth wouldn't have flown in a Chris Nolan Batman. I'll tell you that right now. But here it is right here. I think perhaps this way. And they get like one of the creepiest fuckers on the planet, good old Michael Gough from those fucking old horror movies and shit, to be the butler, to make him fucking sound even creepier and whatnot. But I always I don't know why in movies they don't give Alfred the mustache.
Yeah.
And now they've started adopting it elsewhere, like in Beware the Batman. He's got
a little pencil mustache.
He's also like a big fucking cockney.
Isn't he basically like
former spy?
Yeah,
it's a good idea. It's cute. Well, they ripped it off of what's his name? Well, they ripped it off. I'm sure he's involved in it because it's DC. But what's Jeff Johns from Batman Earth 1 or whatever?
Yeah. But I think they had retconned like him as a former RAF pilot who became like MI5.
Slowly, like, yeah, I've done a lot of surgery in the field.
Yes.
You know, I've been back in my days in the service, but now he's like got the body to match where he doesn't look like a little old British man. He looks like, you know, oi, what you want over there?
Like a footballer.
Yeah, like a hardcore footballer. Okay, so our first look at the Batcave, and again, 1989. You're looking at this monitor bank, and he chose this weird classic approach. Like in 1989, all that equipment looked old.
Yeah.
So he's got this retro look going, but still, you're looking at the Batcave. You're looking at Batman behind a bank of monitors. He's not Batman yet. He's Bruce Wayne, and he wore glasses. See how he's wearing glasses there? Which I always thought was an interesting choice because fucking Bruce Wayne doesn't need glasses. He's perfect in every way. I mean, maybe they never talk about it in the comics. Maybe he's got contacts, but I didn't think he had contacts. But because Bruce Wayne wore those glasses in Batman, I started wearing glasses. I went out and got myself a pair of these, what they call attitude specs. They were glasses that weren't really glasses. So they looked like glasses, had glass in them, but not prescription. So I wore those because I wanted to look like fucking Bruce Wayne, like Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne, which I think maybe he wore as a nod to like Clark Kent. Superman,
probably.
maybe.
Or maybe there was this like mask thing that he was working on. Like he always covers his eyes because when he's in the cave, he can't be Bruce. He's just got to have something.
Or he's just like, hey man, just give me some business. If I get to take off my glasses, there it is, something to do. But I went and got them, and it fucked up my vision. After 6 months, I went in and got an eye exam. They're like, you need real glasses. And I was like, why? They're like, because you're wearing these fucking attitude specs. And I was like, but Batman did it. Okay, so Jack Napier is being set up because his boss knows that he's fucking Jerry Hall. Jack Palance knows that Jack Nicholson's fucking Jerry Hall, so he's like, I'm going to have him set up and killed. Gotham Police Department, very shooty.
Very shooty and very because there's the whole business we just missed about Gordon finding out that they're raiding the factory. Who's leading it? Eckhart, of course, he's in this guy's pocket. If you know he's a crooked cop,
fire that cop.
Yes, why is he still on your force?
I'm not even saying arrest that cop. I'm saying fire that cop.
Yeah.
There it is. He gets to use his own voice here again. It goes in and out. But nothing about, I guess, in order to be high in charge of the Gotham Police Department, you have to be a man of girth and size.
Yes.
Thin people get to be patrolmen. But when you're fat, that's when you put you in charge. This is baffling to me. Why the fuck is Jack Napier doing this to these machines?
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what he's doing. He's being chased by cops, who are there on his boss's tit. And you stop to do this shit because what? You're buying yourself some time?
Yeah. Here's what I'll do.
Nobody was there. How about you just run?
Yeah. Or monkey with the toxic chemical stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to turn this dial. I'm going to bang this. I'm going to turn a knob.
What'd you do? Smoke.
Here we go. Oh, this is when shit gets real. Now I'm hard. 1989, my dick is hard, man. Pip-pap. He's got it. Pip-pap. Oh, he yanks this fucker off. And I'm like, that's Batman. That's the Batman I know. He's saving his life. He ain't fucking killing him. He's got the cowl on and shit. Commissioner Gordon's like, oh my God. He has the holy shit moment of like, there's a guy wearing this suit. Fucking, I'm telling you, I've had so much training from comics and movies that if I ever do see a motherfucker in a suit, fighting crime, I'm not going to stop and have that. Oh my God. I'm going to be, of course you're dressed like that. Go get him, Batman. Once again, rather than run, Jack Napier just creates a distraction, if you will, thinking that, hey, this little puddle will stop them from chasing me.
Yeah. Oh, wait, green.
They're like, chemicals. And they're firing their guns. It doesn't fucking matter. It makes no sense why. He could have been out of here. There's so many moments he could have been out of here, man. But I like this shot coming up. Oh, I remember seeing this and being like, that's Batman. So these cops shooting at, well, here it goes, right in the face. Gadege, that's fucking Batman. But I would like to point out for the record, having watched this, look at this shot right here, man. Joker goes that way. Batman. Oh, I like that. Shit like that I'll never forget. What was I going to point out? It was revolutionary.
I don't know. That he only punches two guys in this whole fight?
I guess. Batman doesn't really do anything.
No.
In the whole fucking movie, but in this particular sequence as well. All right, here's a moment. He can get out of here, man. Get the fuck out. But instead, and I just noticed that this time, he takes this moment because he could kill Commissioner Gordon.
Right.
So Batman comes in to save the fucking day. Oh, that's fantastic. That's Gretzky right there. Gretzky moment. Little jog, and he picks him up. Nicholson's taller than Batman, but whatever. I like his reaction of, Jesus! But it's more, not so much like, you're a dude in a mask, but he's just like, where the fuck did you come from? And why are you involved? And what's going on? But look at his reaction. I love how he settles into it. He's like, all right, man, so I'm dealing with a guy dressed like this, man.
It's a bat dude.
Gives him the fucking nice outfit. And then Batman does his first cinematic disappearance in a movie.
What?
Yeah. Like,
Where'd he go?
He'll do that for many movies come, but that's the first fucking time. Why? Why did he bother wasting his time hammering shit with an axe and fucking spreading?
Yeah. No, just run away, dude.
Run, bitch. All right. So now, and look at this dude. Eckhart's just hanging in the background and casually walks away. Huh?
Who, me? Twinkies?
Oh, the guy who didn't like me, who said he was going to fucking hurt me? Hurt me? How did I not see this coming? Why do I get killed in almost every movie except Raiders of the Lost Ark? And then Batman reappearance. Another fucking thing you'll see, a trope you'll see in many Batman movies. That was badass. I remember seeing that as a kid and being like, yes, bitch. And when I say kid, 19. Fucking, he uses his gauntlet to deflect a bullet like he's goddamn Wonder Woman, man. It banks off the machine, fucking cuts into Napier's face, and then he gets dropped in the vat of acid. So I guess that's what gives him the permanent smile. Like, for some reason, it wasn't enough to just fucking paint him up.
Yeah.
I think Tim Burton had to grotesque it up a little bit to give him the rictus grin.
Yeah. Because that, I guess, is the surgeon who's putting his face together had to make it a smile because there's not enough.
But you got Jack Nicholson, who's got one of the most like creepy smiles on the planet. Yeah. Why do anything to it? But it worked, man. Now this is a Batman who can't turn his head.
No.
Batman doesn't get to turn his head until the Dark Knight. So there's a lot of like, I'm turning my body to look this way. A lot of big reactions. But still, I remember this sequence ends 1989. I'm like, oh man, it's Batman. It's Gordon. It's Batman fighting fucking thugs. It's the origin of the Joker. This is the moment in the movie where deceptively it seems the most like the Batman you know. But as we pointed out, doesn't really do anything. Yeah. He saves Gordon's life. That's it. That's all he did. But took out a few punks.
Yeah, sort of.
Saved Gordon's life, failed to save Jack Napier's life, thereby creating the fucking Joker.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, you're like, what'd you do in the game? If you had to look at his stats after the game, plus minus him, what is he, like -2, -2? Like,
yeah, like 2 punks off the street, 1 crime not actually solved or averted.
And again, you could point out like, it's his first adventure. It's his year 1, essentially. He hasn't been doing this a long time in the movie.
I guess, but you only get that because that one punk is like, who are you?
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Are you fucking nuts? I'm Batman. How do you not know this? Look at the fucking logo. But like everybody, Commissioner Gordon's like, oh my God, nobody's seen this fucker before. So maybe you give it some leeway because you're like, well, it's his first week on the job. He don't know what he's doing. That's how he gets beat a lot. You see him get beat throughout the movie and shit. Somebody somewhere along the lines was just like, humanize this character, man. So they let him get his ass kicked from time to time, including like fucking the very end of the movie when he's up in the bell tower. Gets his ass handed to him and shit.
But it's weird because you can sort of tell what Tim Burton was interested in. Like not Batman. Like none of that was kind of what fascinated him.
It's true. It's the Joker.
Yeah, it's the Joker.
The grotesque of it all.
It's the sad clown, the Frankenstein, the Edward Scissorhands of crime is where his heart lies. And so he could give a shit about Batman. He kind of gives a shit about fighting crime. It's more like, look, now we're having a Citizen Kane style dinner in this giant house where they're at the end of the table and we're passing salt and walking around. It's where's my crime fighting?
The Vichyssoise in the soup is a recurring theme. There's a whole Vichyssoise moment in fucking Batman Returns where at one point he's like, it's cold. And he goes, it's supposed to be cold. It's Vichyssoise. So for some reason, Tim Burton liked the idea of like, film schooly Tim Burton, goth artist Tim Burton was just like, I like the idea of him eating soup. And so Batman eats fucking soup a lot. I remembered what I was going to say in that last sequence. What I realized when I was watching Batman this time around is, and I say this now as the filmmaker I am today, I could have shot this movie. It's the action sequences, maybe not all of it, like the high shots. Like there's a lot of shit. Tim Burton's a visionary I couldn't even touch. But when it comes to the action sequences, holy fuck. Like the fight scenes, we just saw one.
Yeah.
It's a series of fucking like, dudes running and Batman just kind of steps into the frame and punches somebody.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. There's one really cool fight scene in the alley where he fights the swordsman and those cats. That's about it. And that's just quick cuts, but not even overly covered. I'm serious. I could have shot the action in this Batman movie.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of the first X-Men that way.
Even that I'll give them. They had more action going on.
They had more action, but like,
although their movie ends with a big fight in a gift shop. That's fucking weird. You can tell they ran out of money, or Fox is like, this ain't going to make any money. Cause they're like, can we get a little more loot so we don't have our penultimate fight in the gift shop? And they're like, nope, do it in the gift shop. And so Wolverine's knocking over fucking trinkets.
What if we built like half of a top of a Statue of Liberty head? Could we do that?
They're like, yeah, you can afford half, but you can't afford the other half. So you got to figure out what to do in between. They're like, gift shop fight?
Yeah, cool, right? It's weird. It's like these sort of like indie-centric filmmakers given these big superhero franchises who can't do that thing that you want out of it.
You brought up the term indie, and you're absolutely right. And you said before we went, it's kind of like an art house movie.
Yeah, it totally is.
Batman, Tim Burton's Batman is. It's not. If you look at the Avengers shit, if you look at Chris Nolan's Batman, which a lot of people are like, hey, that's an art house Batman. Ain't nearly as art house as this, man.
No, this is just kind of, it wanders through the story it wants to tell, eventually get there, but it is not concerned at all with plot. It is not concerned at all with forward momentum. It is just like, hey, it's a weird romance between these two people hanging out and eating soup.
That scene in the kitchen where suddenly it's like makes more sense to eat in the kitchen than the weird dining room.
Yeah.
That scene has some of the worst dialogue in a movie ever, where she's like, this house isn't very you. And he goes, some of it is very much me. Some of it isn't. And you're like, what? Why would you fuck this guy if he talks like that? This is a guy. I mean, granted, he's got a lot of money and shit, and a butler. I guess that's cool.
Yeah, and he's not like bad looking.
No, and he's charming. Well, not in this movie. He's not charming. Yeah, he fucks around with you. He's just like, I don't know who Bruce Wayne is. And then later on, he's like, I'm Bruce Wayne, but my creepy butler's going to take me in the back and blow me. She don't know what to make of this guy. This is one of the most famous images in movie history, though. Yeah. Tim Burton knocked it out the park with Jack Nicholson seeing himself as the Joker for the first time. Mirror. You know, everybody knows this scene.
And then the laugh.
And you never see him. It's classy. You never get to see what he looks like. He holds that reveal for, let's see what minute we are in the movie. Okay, it's 35 minutes in. We still haven't seen the Joker yet. And we only got like an hour and a half left to go. We've seen some Batman. Probably more Batman than we saw in the beginning of fucking The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
It took a while to get to Batman at that point. Remember, he'd taken 7 years off.
Just hanging out in his house.
No, I'm sad. My knee hurts. This Batman, Michael Keaton Batman would never be that guy, man. Although Michael Keaton Batman is the guy in Batman Returns who rips his rubber mask off. Michael Keaton Batman is the kind of Batman that gets fucking laid, though. Look at this right here, man.
Here is where I want this movie to suddenly become 9.5 weeks.
I do what I do to have you. Have you. I do what I have to do. Look at it right there, dude.
Boom, on the stairs.
He's taking her shoes off. He lifted her leg up. Look at it. He's like, you're not going anywhere.
No, baby.
No, I'm going to teach you. Let me take you to the fridge. Oh, you're in charge?
Adrian Lyne, shooting second unit.
Yeah, we'll see who's in charge. I'm going to whip your shoes around. Oh, I don't know how to kiss. It suddenly gets into like Batman getting action early.
Yeah.
In the fucking movie. Something you don't really see in the other. Did he get any action in the Chris Nolan Batmans?
No.
No, yes. She kisses him at the end of the first Batman, and then she's like, fuck you.
Talia. He totally bones Talia when she breaks him into his house and they're making it. Oh, yeah, that's right. I fucked the villain.
Good
Whoops.
Point. They set him up to fuck like the worst person he could possibly fuck, and he's the great detective, yet he can't figure it out.
Remember that time we totally had sex?
And you could have fucking stopped me, but you didn't. This, again, another famous scene in cinema history is the Joker reveal. Mm-hmm. And anybody who wasn't around for this back in the day is like, you're kidding. This is a big moment in cinema history. We didn't get a lot of movies out back then. And this was fucking cool, man. This is iconic. This is the reveal of a very famous American actor in playing a very famous American fictional character, man. A guy who makes being bad seem fun on the big screen, playing the ultimate guy who sees bad as fun, the Joker. So you could see he pulls the taffy on this scene. He don't show you his face for a while. He's still in shadow, but that white makeup is popping out of the fucking shadow. So you're getting a hint. But this is really nice. Like, this is one of those moments where you're like, I ain't making fun of it at all. This is a fantastic Gretzky reveal. I gotta stop using that.
Because you can tell that here's where his heart lies. His heart lies with the monster, and always has. And so every time you see Jack on screen, every time you see the Joker, it's beautiful. And it's awesome, and it's suspenseful, and it gives you all of the texture you want. But then you get to Bruce Wayne, you're like, I don't like soup in this room.
But later on, there it is. And that was in the trailer too. It was the first time you saw him. He was like, you can call me Joker. And we all saw that image of him with that rictus grin. And I mean, it wasn't necessary, but looks cool. Mm-hmm. But you know, they did away with it when they went to the Heath Ledger Joker, which made more sense. But he's eating the scenery at this point. This is what they paid him all that money for. This is what people talked about when they came out of the movie. Like, oh, it's cool, Batman fighting the Joker. But they would talk about all these fucked up scenes where Nicholson does shit like fires over his back and he giggles. Like, oh, what a day. And later on where he burns the guy to a husk and has a conversation with him. It was absolute fucking magic. So there it is, man. The intro of the Joker, and what we learn is Batman has fucking bedded Vicky Vale.
Yeah, just because.
He plied her with wine. If you watch that kitchen scene, he keeps filling her glass and shit, even though she's clearly tipsy. Then he can't sleep, and does the creepiest thing that anybody has ever done to Kim Basinger after having sex, and that includes whatever Mickey Rourke did in 9.5 weeks, man. She wakes up to find this, a dude who's just like, maybe I'll send her a hint at who I am. You know, and what I do at night. I'm going to hang upside down, like a bat. Oh, this was bad. This was like a John Peters note. This reeks of John Peters. Like, let's have him hang upside with anti-gravity boots, man. Upside down, he'll look like a bat.
Yeah, nothing weird here. Just carry on.
Yeah, he's like, go back to sleep.
Don't look at me.
The only thing that would make it creepier is if she opened her eyes, he was facing her upside down and jerking off.
Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger.
One drink and I'm flying. Go. This, of course, very famous image of him behind the desk going, wing freak terrorizes. Wait till they get a load of me. I love this. But he goes, boop, boop. Like shit like that's what made it. There it is. And then he just chuckles. Like that was a touch of madness, man. It was over the top and fun. And he just chewed the scenery. I remember when I saw Batman Begins, that's what I felt like was missing. I wasn't looking for the camp of the Adam West Batman, but I remember saying like, it's good, but it's earnest. It's so fucking earnest. Takes itself seriously.
And
like
grim.
And very grim. It didn't have like the lightness of Batman. And when I think of the lightness of Batman, what I'm thinking about is the gallows humor of the Joker. And they got around to that. In the next movie, they were there. Here's a Bruce Wayne that just fucks and runs, man.
I gotta go.
Totally. He's the Liz Phair of superheroes. He's just like, I'm fucking done, man. Don't think about me as I'm running down your fucking leg as you leave my house. Go, Alfred, get her out of here. It's all over. And he's lying to her, man. And he says, Jesus. This is a Batman movie where people say, and look at Alfred. Watch Alfred sell him out. Watch. She's like, well, I guess I'll talk to you guys, when you get back. And he's like, back, Miss Val? We're not going to be here for quite a while. He knows he works for Batman.
Totally.
This Alfred is the worst Alfred in the history of Alfreds. Knows he works for Batman, so he knows that this dude's, even if you don't think your boss is Batman, he knows his boss is Batman. If your boss's girlfriend, who he just fucked, comes downstairs and says, I'm not going to see you for a while, I'll see you when you get back. Assume your boss just lied his fucking ass off.
Of course, ma'am.
Bingo. And you walk out. You don't fucking give her more information like, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be fighting the Joker, ma'am, because my boss is Batman. But that's minor compared to the grievous sin he commits fucking later on at the end of the movie, which we'll get to. But anyway, Batman fucks and runs, man. And then he doesn't interact with her again for a while.
Until he shows up at her apartment.
And then that's strange.
Yeah, crazy time.
This is a cool scene as well. This is the scene where the Jokers meet with all the bosses, and it's the first time where they show him putting the face makeup on. It was confusing the first time I saw it, where I was like, oh, so wait, he doesn't have white makeup, but then later on they make it clear it's underneath. So it's a good makeup job. It's makeup on top of fucking makeup. It's made to look like it's covering some form of makeup. But, they introduced the Joker Joy buzzer here. And I remember Tim Burton being interviewed on some TV special back then, and he was just like, this was something that meant a lot to him. He was like, if you've got the Joker, you just want him having this conversation with a burnt husk or something like that. So you're right, dude. You could tell that like what he gravitated to about the material. He's talked about like Batman's a loner and an outsider and I'm a loner and an outsider. But it's the Joker that he was attracted to.
And Nolan almost apes this scene beat for beat in Dark Knight when Joker first goes to meet the gangs led by Spawn, basically.
That's right.
And he buries the pencil in the dude's head. Like it's the same scene, basically, where he sits down with a gathered, assorted criminal mastermind.
I'm
heads.
in charge now.
Yes.
Or I can help, as he did in the Dark
Does a
Knight.
magic trick. Yeah. Want to make this pencil this year. Bam. And then says, it's all mine now.
Yeah.
It's the same scene.
Dude, they do that again later on when Joker's in the middle of the street and Batman's flying the Batwing at him. And he's like, come on, you gruesome son of a bitch. Looks just like the Bat Pod racing at the Joker, who's like, hit me. Same fucking image. So call it an homage or call it a trope.
That's cool. Yeah.
They also tend to do scenes where there's like a big party and a lot of money being spent. And when I worked, this is a weird little tidbit of information. When I worked on the Superman script, I had a scene like that. It opened at some benefit, black tie benefit. And then the Legion of Doom attacked. And one of the first notes I got back was like, don't do this benefit scene. These benefit scenes are always so expensive. And I'm thinking like in a movie where the dude flies, you're worried about the tuxedo cost?
Right.
There it is, man. You are my number one guy. If I'm Jack Palance, I'm like, fuck you.
Where's my taste? Where's my action figure?
I want to get a piece of your performance. Like you're going to get a piece of fucking all the Joker. Oh, but there's some fucking insanity right there where he's like, yum, 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 yum. And then he goes and has this conversation with the burnt up dude. When I think of Batman, I think of shit like this, and then I think of the ending. Last like 15 minutes of Batman are pretty damn strong.
They're not bad.
But I mean, a lot of like un-Batman moments. I mean, look, that's why people, I think, liked the Nolan Batman so much, because it was closer to the books. But this was closer to the books for us. But now when I watch it, I'm like, this is so fucking far removed from the book. Even when I was a kid and I saw it in the theater, I was like, Batman like pulls missiles out and a fucking gun, a machine gun on the Joker. No, he never says rubber bullets.
Honest.
Even when he attacks Axis Chemical later on, he blows up a fucking building with people in it and shit. And he's not even in the car. He's remote controlling it.
Yeah, just because
he's not our Batman, but he was close enough. And also the revolutionary thing we didn't talk about, they put him in the fucking suit that made anybody look like Batman.
Right.
Like, that was the thing. When he got hired, people were like, Mr. Mom is Batman. How the fuck is he going to pull those off? Not only did he pull off the performance, but how Michael Keaton's in very good shape, as you saw him hanging upside down. But they made him even better by giving him a goddamn suit that had ribs cut into it, cut pecs and shit like that. So suddenly I could put on the Batman suit.
pretty much just come on, shoehorn me in there, motherfucker.
And you'd see I had ribs and shit. You'd be like, you got a six pack. I'd hide my everything else with the cape, of course.
I love the cars. Like it's this perfect, like you said, like it's all timeless. But these cars look like beaters. Like, why is Bruce Wayne driving like a 1978 Pacer?
It is kind of, look at this shitty car. Of all the cars he could choose, man, he's just, I know why.
Is it the Disguise car?
Yeah, because he's going to Crime Alley. Oh, he's driving himself too. I never noticed that. Yeah, he's going downtown. He's going to Crime Alley to drop some roses, so maybe he wouldn't want to bring the Bentley. Well, there was no Bentley then.
And she's driving like a shitty Chevy Citation. Like what?
They're all rentals. It's like Batman presented by Hertz. Drive the car that Batman drives. Like the Batmobile? Like, no, when he drives to go see his parents' grave. Like,
his shitbox, the one he takes out.
Drive Vicky Vale's car. I don't want it. Once again, this is a Batman, world's greatest detective, never thinks to look over his fucking shoulder to see if he's being followed.
As he goes to hotel.
He's like, this is where my parents died. Fucking the shit out of each other. Oh, God. This is where I was conceived. Never mind where they died. My parents, they met at this hotel.
Their love was a crime. Crime Alley.
And look, if you lose I lost my dad. I'm still sad about it and shit. And I imagine if you're a little boy and you lose your parents, well, it could turn you into Batman. And clearly he's still driven as an adult, but you think he does this trip once a day, once a week? What's
once a year?
Yeah. What did we just happen to pop in on his life when he's like, look, I need a little extra strength. Maybe I'm retaking the vow or something. But I didn't quite understand. Is this a regular thing? And are there bums that live in Crime Alley who are like, he's gone, grab the roses, and then go sell them for like $2 a pop at the light or something?
And also, is she a journalist or just a photographer?
I know. I can't figure it out.
Where does she get off being like, clues?
Yeah,
I know clues.
And she spends a lot of time in the newsroom. She talks about writing stories and stuff, but it's like, I thought you took fucking pictures.
Yeah.
She's like, I do a lot of things.
I'm smart, damn it.
I fucking knit. One time I had my own fucking yard business, landscaping, before the photography thing. Photography you can't always count on for you to make money on. So I'm a jack of many trades.
There's not always news. I do children's portraits.
And she has a fucking killer apartment in Gotham. Like when you see it.
Just shows up. Like, didn't you just come back from some world
tour?
The
War in Corte Maltese. Time pays a lot of money and gives photo credit to like the photographer right on the front fucking cover.
Ooh, mime attack. Hold on. Worst mimes ever.
This is definitely, you feel Tim Burton all over this. Like, we'll bring in mimes, man. Like, his mimes are creepy.
What'll be weird here? What if we have like lots of mimes?
And the Joker becomes a mime, and I don't know. It'll just be weird like that. There it is, man. The mime attack.
Another mime.
And I've tried doing that move for a while to skate. I can't get that quite right. But once again, nighttime Gotham in that opening scene, remember how it looked real?
Yeah.
Like, looked believable. This is daytime Gotham. And mind you, maybe a press gathering on the steps of the courthouse doesn't mean the whole world's going to stop. But look at this crowd. There's just maybe no passing foot traffic. Maybe it's just that everybody comes to listen. But watch this crowd when they go wide.
Monarch Theater.
It just looks, they can't fucking get away from it. It just looks strange.
There's nobody on the street over here.
No cars moving, nobody walking, everyone just kind of standing still like extras on a set. But this is a Gretzky moment right here. It's your Uncle Bingo. Time to pay the check. And then bam, right into his jugular. And the pen is truly mightier than the sword. Now, Bruce Wayne let that happen.
Yeah, just watching.
And what happens next, Bruce Wayne wouldn't allow either, except he was a year one Bruce Wayne movie version of Batman. Like, look, he's like, I'm going to stop this because I don't like guns, but he's not very good at this. Watch.
Yeah. Just standing.
Chang. Yeah, he was waiting for that shot too. You could see. This is the first moment that they're like, trust me, you're going to have a scene with Jack Nicholson, I swear. And then you won't be wearing the mask. And this is it. He just waves at him. And that's when Michael Keaton goes, I'm going to do that let's get nuts scene that I've been talking about adding. Because if that's the only FaceTime I share with Nicholson in this fucking ridiculous picture, I'm going to fucking do the let's get nuts. They're like, he's talking about doing that let's get nuts scene.
Fuck, he's got his hip pocket. I know he's going to whip it out today.
We might have to do it. There he is, the mayor, fake Ed Koch. And ever at his side is the district attorney, who seems to have a lot to say about not just the killing of, in this instance, the killing of a mobster, but earlier on, he was talking about, like, the festival's going to go on. They're like, why would you ask the district attorney about the festival? He's like, I'm prosecuting major crimes. I have nothing to do with your fucking party. Stop bugging me about this. He's like, I can't wait till the third movie when I'm fucking Two-Face.
You just wait. It's going to be awesome.
Everything's going to be better than this town needs an enema. Great line. A lot of these lines wound up in the Bat Dance track, man. So I always thought this was a cool moment right here. Alfred's got the water ready just as Bruce is like, can I have a glass of water? Very subtle, very small, very nice. And one of the only moments where I'm like, here's an Alfred that looks out for Batman, as opposed to an Alfred that's just like, you might want to go this way, sir. And then as he walks away, he says to the people like, Master Wayne has something secret to do. And then later on, he fucking brings Vicky Vale into the Batcave. Later on, he fucking ruins Bruce's shit by being like, we ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. No, it's fine. He's going to be right here.
Then she spends the rest of the movie. It's kind of a story of a woman who has a one-night stand and then spends the rest of the movie paying for it. It's very Catholic in many ways.
The penance.
Like most Hollywood scripts of its era, this is a patchwork, this script, a patchwork of ideas. There are two credited screenwriters, Sam Hamm and Warren Scarron. So I guess you're in 1989 or in the 80s, your name had to rhyme in order to get a major motion picture gig, writing Batman. Sam Hamm did the first draft. Warren Scarron came in behind him. I think Warren Scarron had worked on Beetlejuice, so maybe Tim Burton said, I like his writing, bring him on to do a pass on this. I remember reading the script. They said the Batman had coverings in his eyes, like mirrors, like you weren't supposed to see his eyes, kind of like in the comics, the white slits. I always kind of dug this scene a little bit because it starts off with Bruce being like, oh, why don't you marry her? Being a dick to Alfred. And then he reins it in. And at the end of the scene, he actually says thank you, which I think is a big part of the Bruce Wayne Alfred relationship. I mean, yeah, you boss him around like he's an employee, I guess, but like there's a lot more gratitude because without fucking Alfred, you would have drowned a long fucking time ago, rich boy. I used to, I had a copy of The Killing Joke, a third printing that I cut up with a scissor and made into a collage. And an ex-girlfriend of mine was like, it was really creepy when I saw that Batman movie and he was sitting around cutting shit out of a comic book or a magazine. She's like, reminded me of you. And I was like, thanks.
Awesome. I win.
I just can't believe you thought of me. Can we go out again, please? I fucking love you so much. Slam the door. Did you notice that fucking picture of Knox? That's not so much a photograph. It is as a fucking headshot. Bob is one hell of a photographer. He almost looks,
everybody here seems really fixated on photography.
It is. It's like, it really captures everybody's imagination. They give props for it. But I'll give you, look, I saw the pictures that Vicky Vale took, and I've seen the pictures that Bob the Goon has taken. What's the difference? Why is she celebrated and Bob the Goon has to work with this guy?
I remember they used to sell that jacket in the Warner Brothers store, and I wanted it so bad.
It was expensive.
Yeah.
That was before I could afford shit. But now, in retrospect, I mean, yeah, it'd be a cool thing to have, but you wouldn't wear it all the time.
I'm of a mind to make some mookie.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Well, I don't know.
I think he made up a lot of his shit. Like, seriously, there are just some things he says that, you know, he's like, I can do whatever I want. And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And he's like, eh. And he just made up some shit.
I'm just going to dance here. Why? Just cause.
It's crazy. But he's right. Like, it works. It makes him interesting to fucking watch. Bruce Wayne, not so much, unless he's wearing them glasses. Then you want to be.
Less so.
This is where they start revealing a little bit of the plot. how the Joker is hurting people in Gotham, or intends to hurt people in Gotham.
I will say that I appreciated that he wasn't poisoning the water supply.
Yeah. Why?
Because that's so, that's what Cesar Romero's Joker would have done. Here's what we do. We're going to poison the reservoirs. Everybody drinks the stuff. At least it was, we're poisoning your food. That made it kind of scarier. Until Batman Returns, when Ra's al Ghul poisons the water supply.
Then they come back to it, yeah.
Pretty much.
He's like, I'm going to liquefy your water supply. This is actually, I think they do this because then it gives Batman an opportunity to be a detective rather than just be the guy that shows up after shit has happened, and exacerbates poor situations. It gives him a chance to look into what is creating these deaths, because people have now, there are reports on the news about people dying of like a Smilex gas or a Joker venom kind of thing. And as we see this anchor chick right here, she starts
Mayor Borg
succumbing to it. Is that who that is?
The Mayor Borg just announced, really? Mayor Borg?
Wow.
Voted for Mayor Borg.
She what you find out is that the Joker's adding elements to a bunch of shit, and when used in combination.
Right. And you never knew which one. So
Yes.
it's like if you used your makeup with your deodorant, with your hair product,
It
or
could kill you.
your mayonnaise and your toothpaste and your whatever.
It's a cool idea, man.
It's not bad.
But buried in the background because it loses to this commercial. When you think about the movie, you think about oh yeah, there's that weird commercial where he's like, new and improved Joker products, Smilex. God, this dude must have just been this must have been one of the greatest acting jobs he ever had. Must have had the time of his life, because he's like, I can literally do whatever I want. They've given me $10 million.
Yeah.
And look at this. This is kind of like the video that Nolan did too, to some degree. He's he's got somebody captive, and it is reminiscent, man. They did. There are some.
I mean, and it's, not that it's a trope per se, but it's a perfectly valid story element.
I wonder if he ever gets together with Mayor Borg and goes you and I are the only two people on the planet who ever wore that face application. They have her in full Joker rictus grin in that one shot. But nobody else, they don't ever do that to anybody else. You see people dying later on or being hit by Smilex gas and they're just grinning wide, but they're not wearing the application.
Love that Joker.
So creepy. This was very Joker-esque though. That's what I kind of dug about this, man. How creepy they would go with them was, closer to, think about it. We're seeing this movie after The Killing Joke came out. So of course we're like, ooh, man, Joker, mad Joker.
Okay. So Alfred has access to police files. Apparently the information requested, sir. Look, confidential police documents.
Which apparently Batman, you think of Batman as breaking into police headquarters, getting that information himself, but Batman's too busy watching television, so he sends this creepy old man who gave himself away right away. He's like, I'm not looking for the records of this, everybody. Man, this dude's big. This has a line, the Alfred Let's Go Shopping line was in the trailer too, where he's like, Alfred, let's go shopping. And the idea was, in the trailer, he goes, Alfred, let's go shopping. And then they cut to a shot of the Batmobile and you're like, holy shit. Yeah. But in the movie, he's like, let's go shopping. And they literally go buy a bunch of products.
Right. And so now Bruce Wayne and Alfred look fine. They're not wearing makeup.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers look
on television. Yeah. They're just like, please, daddy, just don't get it in my eye. I just need money for crack. They do look fucking terrible. I want to see the mini movie where Alfred and Bruce go shopping, where they're in Food Town or something like that. You just grab some mouthwash, and people are just like, holy shit, are you billionaire Bruce Wayne? Why are you buying all this shit?
I got a shop
on sale. Why are you doing that voice? He doesn't really do a voice. He just lowers his voice. He'll take it down here.
Yeah, I'm Batman.
But he doesn't go, where's the treasure? Where is it? You never give it to an ordinary citizen. Where is it? How Tom Hardy wasn't giggling through that fucking fight. He is wide-eyed. You can't see he's got a mask on, so maybe he's wide-eyed because he's like, you're stuck with that fucking voice. Mine's much cooler.
Whoops.
This is a pretty weird notion too. And kind of sinister. The idea that he disfigures his girlfriend, who wasn't even his girlfriend. It was his boss's girlfriend. He inherits her, takes her over when he kills Grissom.
Well, no, but he was He was having sex with her,
Right.
and that's why Grissom wants him dead.
Right.
So, like,
So he kept her around, but then he disfigures her.
yeah, like why the falling in the chemicals turned him into some crazy sadistic freak.
But he was always crazy and sadistic, as we see when he kills Bruce's parents. He's about to shoot Bruce, and the other guy's like, let's get out of here. And then he goes, see you around, kid.
Yeah, but like
The idea was he was always a crazy fuck up.
Yeah, but he wasn't like disfiguring people just cuz.
That's true. Well, we know why, because he makes art, as he tells us in this scene coming. Great line. He's like, I make art until somebody dies. So that becomes his new mandate. But it was a weird notion, a cool notion too, because you're like, ooh, that's sadistic, man. It's not just a dude running around going like, I'm poisoning the fucking products. He's like taking acid to his girlfriend's face or some shit, and then making her wear that creepy like Zen mask. But this, of course, is a sequence that most people remember, think of, because it was in every trailer. Whenever they talk about this Batman, they show the clip. And they show Joker going, where does he get those wonderful toys? This is that very sequence. And once again, it's a sequence where you're like, holy shit, Batman just faced the Joker. And he used a fucking grappling gun. And there's the Batmobile. This is where we get to see the Batmobile for the first time. I mean, what are we? We're an hour into the movie, almost halfway into the movie. And we're finally going to see the fucking Batmobile. And it's not used to fight crime. It's used to escape crime.
Yes, to run away. Sort of.
A lot of running away in this movie. Now, again, it's his year one, and maybe he's like, I can't fight all these fucking people. Like, let me just get her safe, and then I'll come back and whoop ass. But it's crazy the amount of running that Batman does in this movie. Running and breaking things while on the run.
And are we now going to get our first big hit of Prince?
Yeah, this is where we had a little bit at the ball.
The gala.
At the gala at the Wayne Manor, but this is the first big taste with Party
Lawrence.
And he was like, by the time they get to this scene, Prince was like, oh, finally. Like, I was wondering where all my songs were. They just used his needle drop in that one fucking scene in the beginning. And now it begins here, and they play, a good chunk of fucking Party Man, scoring the whole fucking scene. And it does elevate the scene. It's fun and whatnot. But I think that's the last Prince you hear.
Well, you get a little bit at the parade. Like, I remember there's a...
Oh, trust. Yeah. That's right. One more fucking...
Money. Gimme.
Who do you trust? Yeah, that's right. The one more song that we'll hear during the parade. I do like this scene, though. This is pretty badass. Because it is kind of villainous, man. A bunch of fuckers going into an art museum full of treasured things and just fucking defacing them just for the shit of it. And we don't know if he killed all those people with the gas, but let's assume yes.
Yeah, because he doesn't seem to be a guy who pulls punches.
Yeah, exactly. Why bother? I wonder, was that really Jack Nicholson writing Joker was here?
He's got really good handwriting.
I mean, and fast. It went fast, and also it never lost paint.
I know. It's like he was a teacher or something.
I think it was somebody else. I think they're like, we got to hire a real hand, a
stunt
painting
hand.
At this point, Prince is just like, man, they're going to play every one of my songs in the movie, but it's this and that Trust one after that. And that's about it. And, you hear the love theme, the Scandalous, like, Danny Elfman adopted it or Prince adopted it off Danny Elfman. Scandalous was a song. I had the soundtrack, of course, both the score and the fucking Prince album. And, I got blown to that song. Always. Whenever I hear that song, I think of getting blown. And right after that fucking song on the soundtrack was Bat Dance. So I remember,
hurry up. It's got to stay romantic.
I wanted it to end beforehand. And then she, if you remember, Bat Dance begins with him going, oh, I got a live one here. She popped up and lip synced it. That was creepy, dude. That ruined the blowjob. I was like, no, don't mix Joker in there. Like, it was hot when it was Scandalous and shit and Prince, but don't pull a Jack Nicholson Joker line. But I do, for the most part, when I hear Scandalous, I think of that blowjob, except for the tail end of the song. I think, gotta finish.
All right.
Love this boombox, man. That is so 80s.
Oh, I miss my old boombox.
Yeah. We were shooting something fairly recently. I was like, get me a big old boombox. And they're like, they don't exist anymore. They're like, you can get one and put an iPod in it.
What a big Radio Raheem boombox.
Oh, they just don't exist anymore, man. And everyone it's funny. Sound got smaller. We all wanted that big box. There it is. Look at the fucking cover story. Photographer.
By Vicky Vale. Now, why does he have this stuff, or did she bring it along?
She brought it because apparently Bruce... She made, the Joker called her up, said he was Bruce Wayne, said meet me at fucking the Flugelheim. And then, Bruce, at one point, Alfred's like, Miss Vale says she's going to be late for your meeting. And he's like, okay. And he's like, wait, we're not having a meeting today.
What? I'm a detective.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. And then it took him like 20 minutes or more to get dressed.
Yeah.
And get here and to watch what's going on. Once again, doesn't save all those gassed people.
Yeah.
He will save her, though.
True. Well, he's like Superman that way.
We should have a running ticker take of people Batman has saved in this movie versus people Batman has probably hurt. And it won't be quite Man of Steel numbers, but I think you'd be surprised.
Because we don't know how many people get hit by the giant baby squirting out the gas at the end that Batman sort of saves them from, kind of, maybe not at all, really.
And then cuts the cord. There's so many. If you grab the balloons the way he grabs the balloons later on and take off into the sky, you would be towing the cars with you, or because then he cuts them. It's weird. We'll see it later on. But this sequence here, man, Nicholson once again eating the scenery, the avant-garde of the new aesthetic, talking about I make art till somebody dies, shit like that. I'm the world's first fully functional homicidal artist. And then there's the one of the
Alicia,
weaker
that's her
Kim
name.
Basinger moments where she's just like, why is she wearing a mask?
Scooby-Doo acting.
A little bit.
Zoinks.
And they could have gotten away with just showing you that, but they actually go the distance and be like, look, I like this. He's like, well, I'm no Picasso, but do you like it?
Gaze upon my works in despair.
This is that cool moment, though, they usually show you when they show clips from this movie where he comes at her with the flower. And it's moments before the arrival of Batman. And this will be, I guess, kind of their first tete-a-tete as Joker and Batman.
Yeah.
Even though Joker's technically, you will see his white makeup in a minute when she throws the water in his fucking face. But I guess this is the first moment where fully in Batman costume and fully in Joker costume that they meet.
And so this is what marks like the third act of this movie.
Can you imagine?
Just these two people showing up on stage in makeup. That's it. There's no real story distinction between the second act and third act. Just these guys are here.
Why did he want her? I guess, he saw a picture of her and he thought she was pretty and shit. And so he was like, he set up this fake date.
But he also says he wants her to document his work.
Yeah,
like,
he wants to hire her.
pitch. Yeah.
Oh, there he is. That Batman entering through the skylight. Look, the rest of the movie can be as fucking weird as it is, but shit like that
rad.
he got right. Yeah. Oh. And stuff like this too. We were like, huh? Why does everyone just stand still when he's fucking waiting for the thing to do? I like this little guy who jumps. Hey. And of course, leading to one of the most famous lines in cinema history, which you don't even see fully on camera. You just get the tail end of it. Where does he get those wonderful toys? And then the chase is on, man. There's a great reveal of the car, of course. Which one? That one. Like, come on, man. How'd you not see that car, lady?
Which one?
It's certainly not the. He's like, look, the shit box. That's the one I take to drop flowers at my parents' death box. So when I'm out on the night town, I like to take this very Anton Firsty ride. Yeah. Anton First designed Batmobile is my favorite Batmobile.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah. I'm not a big Tumbler guy. Didn't look like a Batmobile to me. This looks like a Batmobile.
It does. Although this is the slowest car chase in the history of the world.
You ain't kidding, man. Around fucking 3 blocks. You watch how many times you see the Monarch. And, they try.
Right. Here's how I'd shoot the little batarang here, too, so I can turn tightly while I'm doing 20 miles an hour around this corner. Like, I couldn't make this turn without the magic.
It's like, I can't slow down to 18. We'll get killed. And you do this thing where the cord's like, help me corner fast. And the meanwhile, you take out 20 people on the curb. You're like,
it's all good. Don't worry about it.
Batman cut my legs off with a cord from his car just because he couldn't negotiate a turn.
No, Gotham won't have any lettuce.
The salad days in Gotham are over, ladies and gentlemen.
We had one lettuce truck.
All they needed was like a crate of chickens as well, just to complete the comedic effect. And then the Batmobile is so badass, it could be stopped by a bulldozer.
Yes. Let's get out and run. Should we wait for it? No, let's get out and walk away.
Yeah. How about I use some massive trick? What about I use these fucking lasers and shit to blow that thing out of her way? He's like, no, let's just run for it.
How about just say, could you back up?
Yeah. We're in a fucking hurry here. And again, what are they running from?
I don't know. And why is he running that way? Like, don't ever show him running.
Yeah. It's certainly like that. I mean, she's actually running a little more athletically than him.
Shields was badass. I remember just losing my shit when Shields and then suddenly like armored caterpillar.
And that was a very
armadillo.
Tim Burton-y moment. That looked like Tim Burton's animation. The car getting covered with the armor.
Yeah.
Bang, bang. They're firing guns at him and shit like that. And he could take it because he's wearing a suit of armor, as we find out in a little bit. This was, I remember, one of the most terrifying fucking moments in the movie for me because Batman point blank asked somebody how much they weigh. And I'm like, if I was in this world and Batman was like, how much do you weigh? I would have to lie. Like she did.
Yeah, just go on with that.
But I would have lied by a couple hundred and shit. But she lies and fucking, he pays the price for it in a fucking minute. They can't make it the full way because, she fucking fibbed about her weight. I like that. See the thing on my belt, grab it. She's like, I already did that the other night. You didn't call me back. Ah! And then he lands and fucking gets knocked the fuck out. Badege. But he tries to give the kick. He's like, you piece of shit. And they fucking biff. And then bam, bam.
Nice.
Thank you. Now, right then and there, you're like, that wouldn't fucking happen to Batman. Are you kidding me? And why doesn't anyone just shoot him in the goddamn face? Like the face is uncovered. If you figured out it's body armor, just shoot him in the mouth right now. Put the gun in his mouth.
Don't take it off.
Stop having a conversation. Yeah. And they also know that it's a girl way too quick. Watch. He's like, shoot her. How do they fucking know? Like if you looked up, she's backlit by a giant light over her head.
Yeah.
Here it is. Look at this shot right here. It's coming up. This is the best fight scene moment.
Yeah.
That's cool, but that's not it. It's it's her camera flashing
like
the dark. Bam, right there. That shot where that was the moment, dude. Those two quick shots made me forgive or not even think about how fucking not super action oriented the rest of this movie is. This sequence a lot of people point to all the time. I love that fucking zoom in on his fucking fist. John Peters maintained this is why the movie made $200 million. I told him, I was like, I love that sword sequence, man. He's like, you know why the movie made that much money? He's like, because that guy was real. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, he's an actual swordsman. I made sure we had the best. And I was like, yeah, it's not Jack Nicholson's performance. Boof! It's the Raiders of the Lost Ark moment. Kicks him in the fucking face instead of shooting the guy.
That is the best action moment in this entire movie.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. That sequence right there. And then there's a fight later on, but more like one-sided. Right. He gets his ass beat. But that's him looking the most Batman in action. Yes. When you were a comic book fan going to see this movie in 89, you were like, holy shit, he did it. Right. He fucking fought like Batman fights and shit like that.
And yet it's all pointless because he could have just stayed in the car.
And been like, shields. And then wait, shields open, let's go. Like, and as they all sat there trying to pound and get into it, he's just like, don't worry.
Yeah, the bulldozer's going to move. It's all good.
Well, he busts her ass right here. He's like, you weigh more than 108. That's the thing I would expect him to say to me. I'd be like, you're damn right I do. 108. I was born 108. Look at him. He's just like, bad cut. He puts his arm down, but his hand's still up there in this shot. But a cool moment where he commands his car.
And this is the one time it feels like this car is actually going fast.
In this sequence in the back roads. I always try to figure out if this is a stage or if this is in the real world. Because look at how perfect and Tim Burton-y these trees are.
Yeah.
The shape of the leaves on the road. I can't figure out whether this is a stage shot or somewhere in the real woods. Later on, you'll see some shots that are definitely in the real world. They're coming up. But those first few, I'm not quite sure. This is where it is a pimp move, man. He turns on the light so she can't fucking look at him and shit later on. He's like, quit looking at me. Don't look at me when I'm doing this. And she's like, doing what? He's like, I'm Batman, not in the fucking face. Don't look at me. What I do is wrong. He's going to turn the light on. But look, that was definitely not on a stage.
That car's hustling and you buy it.
And moving fast. Although they sped up the film a little bit. You could see by the leaves. But those are the moments they put him in the trailer, and people are like, the Batmobile's amazing. To make up for the last scene we just saw.
Stop.
Here he comes, man. He's gonna be like, I'm gonna turn the light on so you can't see jack shit.
Feast.
I'm gonna turn the light on, and he's like, look what I got in my hand. Look at it. Touch it. And then right into the fucking Batcave. He's like, I love to do that to people as we go to the Batcave for the first time.
Batman's a dick.
Somebody says dick in this movie. Robert Wuhl. And when he first walks into the newsroom, they're like, hey, how's your Batman? He goes, ha ha, you dick. He says dick in a PG-rated Batman movie. I thought that was pretty astounding. Our first, is this our first look at the Batcave in the movie?
Not quite, because we saw him like perving out in his own party before.
Remember, that's right, sitting in the section. But this is our first wide of the Batcave. Because we've never seen the Batmobile until now. And so you see the Batmobile pull up onto the round platform, and then he turns on the house lights and shit.
So now he brings her back here, ostensibly.
Oh my God, he almost let her fucking fall off the thing,
He's a dick, man. This Batman's a dick. But so he brings her back here so that he can...
She should have figured out it was Bruce Wayne because she's like, there's only one other guy's been dick enough to me like you in recent memory, and it's fucking Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Who, like, lives out here. I was at your house. Like, who the fuck else lives in the middle of the woods?
Equidistant from the heart of Gotham.
Yeah, it's like if we made a left up there, we'd have gone to the front of the house, right?
I know Batman. He's my neighbor. Can't tell you anything about him. She's like, you are Batman. It's like, I mean, I don't know Bruce Wayne. Fuck. Shit. Now I gotta kill you. Step back to the platform again. I'm gonna turn the lights off.
You and your questions. You're some kind of journalist, aren't you?
Yeah, a photojournalist, I see. Here you go. Batman being the Dark Knight detective. He's broken it down. This is the Batman you know from the comics in 1989. You're watching this movie, like, right on. Fucking, he deduced shit.
I solved a thing.
Yeah, he fucking put a little fucking brain matter into it. He's the world's greatest detective.
I am the solver.
It's almost like he's not present. Like, see how he lit it in such a way that Michael Keaton didn't even have to be there.
No, not at all.
They could have just had somebody fucking moving. She's looking. She's like, "Are you a person in there?" Once again, Batman, the shortest guy in the room.
Yeah,
shorter than the Joker, shorter than his girlfriend. That's why he's so uptight and upset.
He's not bigger than life at all.
I want justice for the little people. This is some of that dialogue that.
Yeah.
Well, when people talk about comic book movies and dialogue, this is kind of what they talk about.
But so we've established that Alfred can get into and out of police headquarters with documents.
Yes.
Like, he's got an in.
Yeah.
So why the fuck does he need to bring Vicky Vale back to his cave to give her shit to bring to the police when Alfred could have done that?
True. Never mind that, dude. Look, there's Scope, a bottle of Scope on the back computer. There's something you don't see every day, man. You never see that in a Batman comic, a big old bottle of Scope sitting right there at the Bat desk. He just gets home from a hard day of fighting crime, hard night, as we all know, and a dark night, if you will, and has to quick, take a mouthful of fucking Scope because he's just like, there's a lot of blood in my mouth. You would imagine as Batman, you're getting punched repeatedly. So yeah, man, there's like a constantly bad taste in your mouth. In fact, now that I think about it, there should be Scope bottles like in every Batcave, Bat desk shot. Shit you would have right next to the Bat desk, man. Like fucking, I'd have, if this is a real movie, there's a fleshlight right there next to the fucking Scope on the Bat desk because being Batman is fucking stressful. I imagine you'd have to tug one out on the regular, man. And Alfred's always fucking your shit up at the ladies and telling them you're, going to be around for quite some time and shit like that. In any event, man, check that out, man. Batman referenced in the newspaper. Once again, we go from the thrill of seeing Batman in the Batcave to the least interesting characters in the flick, Vicky Vale and Alexander Knox. And then there's reference to Batman. And then this TV news report, a lot of exposition with the TV news guys. He references, like, shit, you can hear him in the background. Is Batman, a figure to be trusted or some such shit? Nicholson gets to shoot yet another TV. Thank God it was a Warner Brothers movie because it's almost like a Warner Brothers cartoon with the amount of TV busting and shooting and punching that the Joker goes through. I got a flying mouse to kill and I'll clean my claws. That again sounds like dialogue that was just kind of made up on the spot. And everybody's like, fuck it, he's in the makeup. Let's go. And it worked, man. I'm not saying like, this is terrible dialogue, but and it's just, where'd that come from? I never heard that phrase before. And it's not like, he necessarily has to, every line has to be some pop culture reference, but it was just kind of strange. Alfred playing the role of the school marm or the old grandma is trying to get the kids together. In that scene, apparently implants in Bruce Wayne's head the idea that he should go reveal his secret identity to Vicky Vale. And so here we go. One of the worst scenes in this movie, I'd say, begins now. This part isn't so bad. There are two cute touches. Like right here, he's like, I like this, like not lots of space. And then when the Joker comes in a minute, he echoes the same sentiment. He's just like, lots of space. That's where it goes downhill after that.
Yeah.
He's coming to tell her that he's Batman. And she's getting uppity, and she confirms what we suspected about sleeping with him because she says it right here, man.
I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, she's like, and then I let you in my mouth and fucking, I don't know what. They tamed it. There it is. I trust you. I even slept with you. She says that,
I
man.
can't believe they did that. And then that other thing. And then that other thing with the other guy.
He's like, I can't believe I got to sleep with somebody who doesn't knife me at the end of the movie. I never get pussy, and the one time I do, I get knifed for it. So hopefully you're not going to do it. I do like that row in her hair, the fucking cornrow thing in the middle of her hair. Braid. You see the one lone braid? I think it was a nice choice.
What's her princess lock from like Coming to America?
Is that?
She's royalty in Blondonia.
As you can see, the dialogue in this scene just fucking awkward, man.
It's all first draft. It's all like, can we take another pass at this?
It's nobody who's a comic book fan. It's somebody writing like, hey man, if you were Bruce Wayne and you're Batman, like imagine if we have a fucking funny scene where he's trying to tell her that he's Batman and he can't say it and she doesn't quite understand. Ill-advised, unnecessary. I wish they would have done one more scene of him as Batman rather than this. But
or at least
again,
give this some energy and not just like two people sitting in an apartment. Like,
well, this is the scene. He was like, look, I begged for the let's get nuts scene and I got it. And then soon you'll see what I mean by the let's get nuts scene. In the novelization of Batman, the movie, there was a scene after this, which is not in this movie. And I wonder if it was in the shooting draft or I wonder if they shot it and then just said it didn't work. But it's apparently, as you can see, it's daytime. After this sequence, Bruce disappears, the Joker leaves and Bruce disappears. The Joker went somewhere in public or whatever. There was one more Joker Batman showdown. And then Batman showed up on a horse in daytime. But that never, I don't know if they shot it or if it's just in the novelization, but you can look it up. There it is. He's like, I'm Batman. I remember seeing that in the movie theater and a bunch of non-comic book dorks like, ha 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 ha. And I'm sitting there being like, you guys don't understand Batman. He would never do that. Bruce Wayne would never mouth the words, I'm Batman. There's no truth in this art. Lots of space.
But he's not looking at the apartment at all.
This time he's looking at her legs.
Yeah.
That's Jack Nicholson, man. Funny dude. Here we got, the Michael Keaton Batman, of course, unlike the comic book Batman, doesn't just have his Batman outfit on under his clothes at all times. So he's fucked without his suit. And that's what I remember too about that scene that was in the book. Like he called Alfred. He's like, Alfred, bring me my suit or something. And if I remember correctly, he got dressed in a Volkswagen or some shit. Maybe I'm remembering that fucking Mallrats or something. But, the Joker indicates, of course, that he got rid of he made art until somebody died. Alicia was, killed.
He totally wins.
Omelets and eggs. And he breaks something on her mantelpiece. So maybe the scene is meant to show the similarity of hero and villain because he shatters something on the mantelpiece and then Bruce Wayne shows up and says, let's get nuts. And he shatters something on the fucking mantelpiece as well. And she's just eating popcorn.
Yeah. But so his Bruce Wayne's plan here is to get the Joker to shoot him.
Yes.
Right?
Is it?
It seems
because he put the metal plate.
He put the metal plate in there. He antagonizes the Joker. Like, let's get nuts. Like, otherwise, why do you do that? And then why does he want the Joker to shoot him?
I was going to say, like, so if you draw the Joker's fire and the Joker shoots at you and you're going to pretend to be dead.
To what end?
Yeah, like fucking, will that protect Vicky? No, it will leave her unprotected.
Yeah, and you were just about to tell her you were Batman, so it's not like it's some weird Clark Kent Superman thing where you got to keep it hidden. You were about to come clean.
Or go be Christian Bale when he goes visit Jim Gordon in the hospital, put on a ski mask, leave and come back in and start pummeling ass or something like that.
But like nobody's on the verge of finding out that you're Batman, so why do you have to do this? Like, why not just go home?
Jack Nicholson just seems like he's being patient in the scene. Like, look, I get it. The kid wants to fucking act with me. He doesn't want to be wearing the goofy suit when he does it. He just wants to act one scene. He's an actor. He's idolized me growing up. And I'm sure he said, please, just one scene where I don't have to wear that outfit and act with Jack. Just me and Jack and shit. Let me be natural, man. It's called the Let's Get Nuts. And you'll see why.
It's on the call sheet.
The Let's Get Nuts scene. Then he had his lights out. Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts. The least Bruce Wayne thing that has ever been done in the history of anything. Yeah. Adam West's Batman was closer to the comic book Batman in every moment.
Yes.
Than Michael Keaton just was in this sequence.
Would you like to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Why doesn't the Joker shoot him in the fucking face?
Nobody shoots anybody in the face. They just, come on.
And one shot, I know you got a little Derringer, maybe it's only a one piece, but like you see no blood. You're willing to shoot him. Why not, like, ask Bob for a gun and be like, let me finish the job and perforate this asshole.
Yeah. And like, why do you come with the little pussy gun here? And then in like the next scene, we see the Joker. He's got some giant fucking hand cannon.
And why are you abandoning her? Like, you've already shot the boyfriend.
Yeah.
You come to her house for something.
For her.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So why not fucking take her with you? But instead, they leave her behind. You could tell this movie was being written and rewritten as they shot. They leave her behind, and she essentially just so she could turn around and be like, hey, Bruce Wayne's not here anymore.
Yeah. But like, this is a sitcom scene.
But this is fun.
Where nothing changed.
I know. It's literally a scene from Friends. He's like, I'm going across the hall.
Yeah.
I just went to his apartment.
Okay, what's going to happen? Why is he gone? Oh, shit. Is he dead? No, clearly. So what?
And he didn't tell her he's Batman. So like, she's got to be like, where'd this fucking loser go? Like, I could have been killed and he's gone. And I thought he was shot, but now he's not here. What the fuck is up? And then would you ever bother to open a box that the Joker sent you?
Because that totally makes sense.
Acid.
Fainting. This is fun.
That seems like a John Peters thing too. He's just like, and then she could pass out. Or maybe she's like, look, everybody's got something to do in this movie. Give me a funny beat, man. I could faint funny on camera. Let me be funny, guys. And fucking Tim Burton's like, I've already got Michael Keaton with this let's get nuts scene every day. Now I've got fucking Basinger who wants to pass out on camera as if this is funny. He's like, I wish I was making another Pee-wee movie. At least we were honest about what fucking farce we were making. This is where it gets sad.
Yeah. Okay, so Knox does his research. Knox is the journalist, not her. He finds out.
Yeah, she takes a picture of it.
Hold on, pose by the microphone.
He's like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm a photojournalist. He's like, oh man, if I didn't want to have sex with you, I wouldn't tolerate this. He reveals, of course, what nobody in Gotham ever knew before. Biggest kept secret is that Bruce Wayne's parents were killed in that alley. And then you don't have to be the Dark Knight detective to put two and two together and be like, hey, I think Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Well, but sort of, I guess, like.
Well, she goes to the manor, and presumably what happens is upstairs, because Alfred is, you'll see him, he fucking closes the door on the bat suit right here. Batman keeps it in like a little vault. Then he disappears. Mm-hmm. Then Bruce kicks back and flashes back to the night his parents were killed.
Right.
Then the very next thing is fucking Alfred comes back. He's like, look who I brought with me. Look who it is.
Oh, it's Vicky Value.
And you sit there going, okay, so what happened while they were off camera? She was like, I know he's Batman.
Right.
Let me see him. And if you're a good fucking gentleman's gentleman, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Or, even big, he's certainly not in any Batcave under the manor. But I guess I was wrong. It's not the very next scene. Oh, it is. This is what prompts the flashback is the Joker breaks in on this broadcast. And I remember when I saw this movie, I always felt like they put the Joker in. It looked to me, I mean, it's not, but it looked to me like the study of Old Wayne Manor from the TV show where the Shakespeare bust is. I was like, what a cool nod that is. But I just think it was like, I mean, obviously that's a chair and a fucking flat back behind him. But this thing bummed me out too, because I'm like, the laws of physics on this broadcast don't make sense.
Yeah, where are they looking?
Yeah, they're looking at him somehow, like he's on another camera and they can see him in a weird way. But I do like when he closes the screen over.
Yeah, the movie just gets like weirdly lazy at this part. It's like, we're going to do some shit. Look, punks, gangs.
Yeah, like, look at Gothamites. Yeah. Here are the 12 people that live and work in Gotham City, and they will be affected by this festival. Here's a bar scene. Remember, just like in fucking Chris Nolan's Batman. And apparently, in Batman, there's always got to be a bar scene.
There's got to be one.
There's got to be one of those burning cash cans with homeless.
Yes, because it's the Bronx circa 1977.
Soon you see Rocky walking by and people are like, "Ooh, bring it back." All right, there he is. He just closed off the screen. Now he's got the thing to himself. So if you were watching TV and it was split screen, that makes sense.
Right.
But if you were not watching like a TV that had the split screen image and you watch this guy move his hand over,
What did he do?
you were like, who is he, Tom Cruise in Minority Report?
And so
20 years at a time.
Yeah. And so now, did we ever see the Joker steal $20 million to give away to the people of Gotham?
No. And I don't know if they say it in the movie, but in the book and in comic books, it's not real money.
Yeah.
They never say that in the movie.
No. So just suddenly he's got $20 million he's giving away.
He's just throwing out there.
Yeah,
And well, I guess he figures I'm going to throw it out there, gas him, and get all my money back. But then he doesn't care. Remember, like the Joker and fucking Nolan's Batman burns a mountain of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, good point. Where'd that money come from?
He just got it hanging out, loose change.
Look at him. He's hanging out in his jeans. There he is wearing them glasses. That's what made me the fucking blind fuck I am today. Because I want to be like Batman and fucking wear glasses.
Now, see, here, I don't buy that Bruce Wayne hasn't memorized this file already.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, Alfred, can I have the file of my parents?
Did you get it? Like, what, you
don't
don't
Alfred, I've been like, again?
Yeah, come on, dude. You read that before you go to sleep every night.
You've read that more times than you've read Catcher in the Rye, sir. You've read Catcher in the Rye far too many times for me to be comfortable with.
Of course.
See, he took off his glasses, dude. That made him serious. It was business.
Thinky time.
That's why I started wearing glasses, so I could take them off and be serious and shit like that.
Like it's the Monarch Theater again. But now it's important.
Yeah, now it plays. Now you see why it's in the background of every shot in the movie. And what are they going to see? Not Zorro, but it's like some musical. It's
well, it was the Flittermouse in
the Nolan
version.
It was Zorro, and
it had always been Zorro.
Frank Miller's version.
Yeah.
In this, it was Footlight Follies. It's a musical. Yeah, it's not even like
Figaro or something.
Nothing remotely relevant,
evocative. Just it's a thing.
Doesn't tie into anything. Oh, they liked musicals.
It's Guys and Dolls.
And of course, there's nothing about like, this is a philanthropist, Thomas Wayne and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is a Gotham that's not as decrepit as the one that Batman currently trolls. But as you can see, so there's the hotel where young Bruce was conceived, as we learned earlier. But this is pretty fucking heinous, man. Like this killing, they found a guy who looks like kind of a young Nicholson, although he's taller, it looks like.
Yeah, but the pearls.
He's got a partner. Joe Chill does it in the comics. Jack Napier does it in this movie. The pearls, which come right out of Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, and the spilled popcorn as well. But he guns down the fucking parents, toot to sweet, man. You don't think fucking twice about it. The one dude goes for the pearls. The Mr. Wayne goes to stop him, and then he gets shot. And then the fucking Joker shoots her for no good reason because she's shrieking. And look, he's about to fucking shoot this kid, and he rocks him with the, did you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? So that later on, when he says it,
which I thought was the coolest thing in the world at 18.
Even I didn't buy that.
But man,
I was like, I remember, thankfully Walter Flanagan was like, what does that even mean? And I was like, yeah, good question.
It's dumb as shit. Like it's got none of the.
He pulled that fucking hammer back. He was going to shoot that kid right in the fucking face, but his buddy was like, let's go. And so you're thinking about the worst thing that ever happened to you and realizing that this fucking dude is the guy that killed your parents. And out of nowhere, the worst butler that ever buttled in the history of buttling brings your fucking girlfriend down to your fucking Batcave and shows her that you're Batman.
Like, really?
Oh, it is.
Grounds for dismissal.
It's the equivalent of you send her a selfie of your dick hanging out, and she puts it on fucking her Facebook page. You're like, no, you've just seen everything that I'm about. This is fuck. He's exposed right here.
Oh God, Alfred, you fucking suck.
And if you're Bruce Wayne, I'm like, you have the argument to Alfred, like, dude, I told you nobody, and you brought her in here, and now this woman has to die. And her death is on your hands, you old butler fuck.
Yes, you made me kill her, Alfred. You made me kill her.
I didn't want to do this. And he's choking her. She's like, Bruce, no. He's like, fucking, that butler asshole did this to us. If I'm her in that moment, I'm like, let me be the new butler. I'll be better and I'll keep shit quiet. And then you go strangle Alfred.
Yes, better handies.
Yeah, way better. And the blowies, not so weird afterward. And then you're done with the old creepy guy who's constantly tipping your hand.
Yeah.
And you've got a cool ass young Alfred S.
That's the way to go, man. Shake it up a little bit.
And then he's like, all right, I'll take that deal. And she hits him in the back of the head. Like, you fucking idiot. Hey, everybody, look. She takes this picture of him, Instagrams at Bruce Wayne next to his mask and shit. She does side by side. I'm sorry, we're going, the shit we're saying is stupid, but this dialogue that's actually in the movie in this scene is way worse than anything we're talking about. It's just nutty fucking bad. And that's where he says, I tried to avoid all this, but I can't. And right now he's out there and I've got to go to work. And Alfred just closed this fucking closet.
Just leave it open.
A minute ago. Now he got dressed in front of her. She's there still.
Yeah.
He didn't tell her to leave. She's like, the whole time, she's like, ew, you're putting your clothes on in front of me. He's like, don't look.
Yeah. And so, like, why does she ever leave the Batcave now?
Yeah.
Like, you're in the fortress of fucking safety. Like,
I'll be safe here.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good. You know who I am. Just hang out.
Or, look, you got to go to work. Great. I'll wait here and talk to Alfred until you get home, and then we'll continue this conversation.
He'll bring me some soup. It'll be fine.
And as you see, the fucking work that he's got to do is he's like, I've got to go kill what looks like at least 20 to 30 people.
What's my job now? Murder.
And destroy bat murder. And destroy a chemical plant which will release chemicals into the air and poison Gotham, probably.
It's all good.
And you definitely create work for the Gotham Fire Department, to say the least. I didn't warn them that I was coming up to do this. But, that's what I do because I'm a vigilante.
Collateral damage.
Blows it all the fuck up. And then the Batmobile heroically runs like a chicken. This fucking place comes down and people are like, I'm dying.
Help.
You've killed us. I made the wrong choice in working for Jack Napier.
All I wanted was overtime.
This blows. Everyone dying in flames except for fucking Batman. But when you get to the M. Night Shyamalan twist that you're going to see in a moment, you'll see the Batman was never fucking in danger. Because Batman, he wasn't even in the car. He did a whole Tony Stark from Iron Man 3. He's just controlling that shit. He's not even there, man. There's a little moment there where he turns to face the helicopter. Joker could shoot him right here and doesn't.
Yeah, it's all
could
good.
rain down bombs and chooses not to. Could gas him right there.
That's a wicked helicopter, though.
Badass. That's why Batman doesn't do anything. He's so dumbfounded by he's like, I got a lot of cool toys, but that's a badass looking helicopter. I should rethink purple in this outfit. If you look in that shot though, when he turns and the helicopter light hits him, his utility belt drops. It falls about 3 inches in a very unheroic kind of like he's too skinny kind of way. Like he needs to eat. He's not eating enough. Here it is. Prince is back.
Yeah.
Trust. Who do ya? I believe all these songs came after the movie was done.
Yeah.
So Jack Nicholson is not dancing to Trust. I think if I remember my Bat history correctly, I do like his dance though. Again, just very simple, like no legs aren't moving whatsoever. It's all arms. It's a fat man dance. He's not sweating at all. But I think that the music, if I remember the story correctly, came later on.
But you can also tell that Prince never saw the movie.
Yeah.
Because none of these songs have anything to do with what's happening in the movie.
Yeah, good point, man. He said he identified with the Batman character very much, but remember he did, what was it called? He wore the half Batman, half Joker thing, and he gave a name to
I don't remember
character.
what that was.
I want to say like Gemini.
Oh, nice.
That's what it was
Good
called.
pull.
In the video, the Bat Dance video. This is a cool sequence, though. I do like fucking the Joker throwing money to people and shit, and he's got the balloons, and he's going to gas them. Everyone's having a good time. There's the Monarch Theater. Can't get away from it and shit. Gotham is like 2 blocks long. He's got fun Tim Burton-esque balloons. You can tell those are Tim Burton designs.
Don't put up a fight.
That's
Sex.
It's not that type of party.
Oh, girl, we're getting high. Wow.
I mean, it has nothing to do with Batman.
No,
Like
not even close.
Warner Brothers, like, yeah, Prince, do you think maybe you could put throw Batman in the title? You know? Yeah. Can I play that fucking song? They're like, here, you want a Batman song? I'm going to give you the most Batman fucking song. I'm going to call it Bat Dance, you jerks. I love Bat Dance. I'm an unapologetic fan of Bat Dance.
There's no crime in loving that song.
It's terrible, but it's awesome.
It doesn't make any damn sense.
No.
But fuck it, it's Prince.
It's just Prince celebrating Batman. And again, 1989, wasn't a lot of people doing that. So you were like, fucking, hey, Prince is cool, right? And he likes Batman, so I can like Batman. There she is, photojournalist, hard at work.
People dancing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what you want to shoot. There's a homicidal fucking maniac standing there. There's all this gas coming out of the balloons, and you're
Not
taking
the
a
Joker.
picture.
Don't shoot the Joker.
Shoot the help. She's like, I'm sure somebody else is shooting the Joker. But this is the introduction, of course, of the Batwing.
This was the greatest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah. You can't fight the Bat. And still, the Bat. Oh, I love this. Oh, look at that close up. Gorgeous shot. Money, money, money. Hubba, hubba, hubba. Who do you trust? If you look at the Bat in the current Chris Nolan movies, looks more like a black lobster that flies, which I guess we should owe a debt of thanks to the B-52s.
Yeah.
Black lobster. That's what it looks like to me. This looks like
A bat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it flies like you would want it to fly. It's a little baby fighter jet.
It is. And so much so that it could fit in the streets between buildings and whatnot. And of course, there's the iconic shot of it going up in front of the moon and creating, like the ET shot, making the bat signal. So I don't know why they didn't, if you're going to make them fly again, which they did in The Dark Knight Rises, there's nothing wrong with making that ship look like a little bat. Yeah, it should have kept it like this. This was a very cool thing that unfortunately they left behind. I love the Batwing. It plays for about 5 minutes total.
Yeah. Of course, you forgot to armor the Batwing.
Oh my God, you could take it down with a fucking pea shooter. Some spitballs could take it down.
Stiff breeze. What happened?
I often think that was Jack Nicholson literally talking to the audience when he's just like, and now I relieve you of the burden of your failed and useless lives. Like, just spoken like somebody who's like, I won the lottery of life.
Look at this.
I'm having so much fun. They paid me $10 million to pretend to be the Joker. And I've got a big piece of the back end. I'm fucking set for life. Do you know how much pussy I get? Like, that dude gets incredible amounts of ladies. There's
this great clip from the Oscars where he's hitting on Jennifer Lawrence.
Really?
It's kind of amazing. Where like he's just walking by and she's doing her little red carpet. Like, I just won an Oscar. And Nicholson's like, hey, how you doing?
Oh, and she goes like,
and she's like, it's like, I'll see you later. Like, fucking Jack Nicholson, you're 83 years old. You're macking on this teenager.
I saw there was a quote somewhere where he said, like, as long as I got these sunglasses on, I'm Jack Nicholson. The moment I take them off, I'm just some old pervert. There it is, man. Gotham, under attack by the Joker and his men. They're losing control. These balloons are going up. The Batwing still hasn't done anything constructive yet. It's just whipped around a few times, and looked really, really cool. Yeah. But here's where it finally goes to work. I totally stole this sequence for the Jay and Bob cartoon movie. Jay and Silent Bob super groovy cartoon movie. I stole a lot from this movie. Jay, in Mallrats, the grappling gun, which we redid in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, flat out comes out of this movie. I love that moment, where he fucking fires the gun and shit. So it was very influential. It's just weird when you go back and look at it now and you're like, maybe I've outgrown it. Yeah. Or maybe I've just seen him do better. But the Batwing still getting ready to do something.
We'll get there.
Here it comes. All of Gotham is dying, being gassed by Smilex gas and shit. It's a shame that Alexander Knox did more than Batman to help the citizens of Gotham before he was taken out by Vicky Vale, girlfriend. Who doesn't. Yeah, he's like, I liked you so much. You're such a super lady. And then she abandons him in the fucking garbage, dude. Yeah. And he's got a wound.
And the gas is still all over the ground.
I know.
Like, he doesn't have a mask. He's going to die.
But fuck it all, because that Batwing shot coming down the middle of the street is just tremendous. And then there he is. He's going to work. He's bringing up the little clip, man. He's going to grab the balloons. This is Batman right here. Right here. This is Batman.
But it's almost closer to the Adam West Batman because it's the bat shark repellent of vehicles.
Yes, what do I've got a scissor.
Luckily, I knew that I would have to like wrestle a bunch of giant balloons, so I had to build a cow catcher in front that would snap them off and take them off, just in case.
It's like the Swiss Army knife of fucking bat weapons. And that's a cool shot, though. He stole my balloons. But still, this is Batman. I'm still looking, but here's what I'm talking about. Watch this. See how tightly they were pulled? Mm. I guess they were being held by people, but it looked like some of them were attached to floats. It just didn't make sense, the science of it.
And those balloons will come down at some point and still kill. They're not going to go into space and just keep going.
Yeah, he's like, I bought y'all 20 minutes. Get inside.
This is for you, Army.
And so in that moment, you're like, right on. Batman uses one of his bat vehicles to go in and save the citizens of Gotham.
Yes.
Very cool thing. Joker killing his Bob the Henchman.
Just cause.
It makes no sense, but you buy it with the Joker character because you're like, it's what he would do. Buyer beware.
But like, not this Joker. Like, this Joker doesn't feel like randomly chaotic.
He honestly seemed to like Bob too. Yeah. I was really disturbed by that when I saw that. I was like, why would he fucking kill that one? You could have killed any one of the other henchmen. Bob had your back. There it is right there. Oh, amazing. Great shot. Great idea. I don't know who pushed that idea, but
that was the cover of the soundtrack.
That was the cover of the score.
Danny Elfman score.
Yeah, the Elfman score, yeah. Like, oh. Okay, so the Batwing is finally coming back. I like this shot, though. Everyone running and the Joker kind of walking through the chaos. but he notices that the Batwing is coming for him and shit. And Batman starts loading up. Look, missiles,
Open fire.
fucking Gatling guns and shit. This shot right here, I like that. All the chaos and then the Joker just rising into the frame. So, now the Joker's like, oh, he's coming back for me and shit. He can't hear me, but I'm going to talk to him. And so they have this moment where Batman not only uses guns, but proves to be the worst shot on the planet. You've got one guy alone in the middle of fucking the street, and he can't hit him with machine guns or missiles, even using this device where he can put it over his eyes.
Master Bruce, would you like armor or targeting on your Batwing? No.
Yeah. Can I have both?
I'm going to use the Force.
Only one. There he is. He's got him dead to rights in the fucking bullseye. Missiles, bullets, all of it missing.
Nothing.
All of it just going around the Joker. Now, the Joker, on the other hand, he's got himself one of these fucking silly guns that just goes on and on and on. A telescoping gun, which suddenly he uses to take down a fucking jet.
Yes, with one shot. And he's not a marksman, really.
This is the Superman flying real fast around the world moment of Batman, where you're just like, come on, dude. Like, what was all that for? I know. You could just get taken down by one fucking shell from a gun, that ridiculous.
Yes. Look, a model is going to crash into other models.
Yeah, there's a model shot right there. Those look like Matchbox cars.
Baby fire.
But I'm sure they were happy with the way that like the things fluttered to the ground. They're like, that looks real. Maybe they won't look at the cars. Maybe they'll just look at the fucking fire. Batman. Thank God the Joker chased everyone off the streets of Gotham, because Batman would have just killed thousands.
Plowed through just families.
Because he didn't think enough to like, maybe I should land this thing over the water.
Can I steer? No. Bus full of nuns.
And for no good reason. Basically the Joker's going to collect Vicky Vale and take her to the top of the tower.
And again, for no good reason, Vicky Vale left the Batcave.
Yeah, why'd she even leave, man? Maybe she wanted to help Alexander Knox. And when I say help, I mean hit him with a car, leave him with a gaping open wound in the trash where the rats are licking his blood and fucking he's still ingesting Smilex gas.
She just wanted to take pictures of henchmen.
I do like the colorful equipment he's got, man. I think it was cute that they added that, like little walkie-talkies and the gas masks and stuff, and everything having his logo on it. That was very comic book like. Nolan didn't do that by any stretch of the imagination.
He doesn't believe in color.
Oh, he's back, kids. That's the one thing I love about Batman. You can't keep a good Batman down. So even though he fucking crashed, he's all fucked up to shit, he's still going to go after, he's like, I got to accomplish something.
Like, I get knocked down so easily.
I get knocked down, but I get up again because my name is Batman. He essentially took the balloons away. That's a positive.
Yes.
Everything else ineffective at doing.
Yeah,
now, if he could just save this woman, then he'll have, and stop the Joker, then maybe the whole night will not be a waste.
And open fire on unsuspecting civilians.
I mean, if I'm the people of Gotham, I'm like, yes, the Joker did try to gas us. However, first he gave us money.
Yes.
And he was entertaining. This Bat guy, he just opened fire on us like fucking for no good reason. I mean, I know he was going after the one guy, but like, I don't want to die in a friendly fire incident.
Duck and cover.
Yeah, I mean, I think Batman is the greater threat if I'm a Gothamite than the Joker. Batman being very un-Batman-like, falling and knocking over a bunch of pews, being wounded in action and woozy and stuff.
He's stumbly.
It's also like, why are you climbing these stairs, Batman? Use your fucking.
You've got one.
You've used it from the roof to the ground. Just use it again. But instead, our hero has to climb the tower to save the princess, as so often happens in movies. Physics of this shoe falling are completely wrong and inaccurate. He dropped it down the middle, and yet somehow it falls on the step where Batman's climbing up and in pursuit. Gordon and the cops are arriving.
Just cause.
Yeah, like maybe we should check this out. I hear a fucking small jet crashed on the steps of the church. Maybe we should go look. And then he busts out, like his big addition to all this later on is like directs the Klieg lights.
Over there.
Yeah, he says, get a light on the tower, over there. Here they get foiled by, the Joker is going to drop a bell on him so the Gotham police can't come up the stairs, and so he can be undisturbed as he waits for his helicopter ride.
Right. And he gets like a dozen henchmen in this tower somehow, right? Do they drop from the helicopter?
Well, no, that's the thing. It's like,
show up?
If the helicopter was there, presumably he would have taken Vicky Vale in it, gotten it, and escaped.
Right.
So these guys, I guess, were just waiting up here.
Hanging out.
He was like, the rendezvous point is the church steeple, I guess. Presuming if in plan B, Batman crashes the Batwing, then we'll all meet on top of the church. If not, we're going to meet at Rite Aid. Everyone got that? They're like, this guy's crazy. They're like, of course he's crazy. He's the fucking Joker.
Man, there's a CVS right there.
Yeah, he's crazy like a fox. Because he believes in Rite Aid.
Not the Monarch Hotel?
Yeah, let's meet there. Everyone meet at the Monarch. See there you got a bunch of shit blocking.
Right.
And watch Commissioner Gordon tries to move this fucking bell himself.
Here, come on.
He does. He's like, well,
anybody help?
This is why they made me commissioner. Because I try to move the immovable shit.
Because I can't move this either.
All right, let's get out of here. I'm sure they've got this.
Rite Aid, Rite Aid.
No, he's like, let's go to CVS, boys. And if only he'd gone to Rite Aid, they could have stopped all this from happening. There he is. He's like, put the lights up there. We can't get up there, but we might as well watch what's going on. And where's the Gotham police helicopter? Yeah. How about getting a Gotham chopper up there, man? Put some lights on this bitch. Maybe help Batman out. Or arrest Batman if you think he's a bad guy.
Or, the National Guard, perhaps.
Anybody else? This dude just tried to, a terrorist act.
Yes.
Tried to kill thousands of people with gas. That calls for something stronger than cops who give up when they're like, this door's blocked.
There's a bill.
This guy, I mean, fucking Chief Gordon in this movie is like Chief Wiggum. Less Commissioner Gordon, utterly fucking Chief Wiggum.
Are you sure you didn't dial 912?
Take her away, boys. And then here it begins. Now Batman has to face the last few Joker soldiers. Here's the dude that kind of flips at him and shit, and he's got those boots with knives that click out. Yeah. And then Batman pulls this thing out of his palm, which you've never seen before.
No, and
it ejects forward. It's like a stick with a plate in it that launches forward 5 feet. With if you really have this in your outfit, wouldn't your arm be straight all the time?
Pretty much. His battering ram.
Yeah, that's what it is, essentially. It's like, I carry this just in case I need 6 inches. I don't want to get hit by a fucking knife. Then this dude goes to attack him and goes right through the floor. You can't even give that up for Batman. Like, you can't even be like, well done, Batman. He reacts surprised. Like, whoa, wow, that's a gimme.
I win.
A freebie. But then this is where a fucking dude comes in and just pummels fucking ass. I would submit that this guy beating up Batman would make a better Batman. He's so strong and powerful, and he's relentless and shit like that. He's mad, man.
There's a dozen guys on this roof where there weren't before.
Yeah, nobody was up there. Because wouldn't they have helped the Joker come through the platform?
Yeah.
Like, he's not like, all right, plan C. If I make it up to the tower and Batman's chasing me, when I first get up to the tower, even if Batman's not there to see it, nobody come out and greet me.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
I've got this.
I know where you are. But if Batman shows up, then pummel ass. That's when you're allowed to show yourself. He reveals his gun, the telescoping gun, is also just a little bang gun, unless we're meant to believe he swapped guns while they were dancing.
He's got lots of room in his pants.
The telescoping gun irritated me because I'm like, why was it already extended in his pants?
See, I don't think it was telescoping. I think
he showed it though. He closes it on the steps. Yeah, at one point he closes it like fucking.
I call bullshit.
I call bullshit too. It's like, if it's going to be telescoping, don't have it open in your pants. Batman still fighting this fucking dude, and this dude is relentless, dude. Look at him choking the fuck out of I like this shot though. He throws him and Batman gets right the fuck back up. Bam. That is Batman right there. I remember seeing the movie, turning to Walt Flanagan and being like, that's Batman. Yeah. There are lots of moments in this movie where you're like, that's Batman. Yeah. That's Batman. But there are a lot of moments where you're like, that ain't Batman.
That's Batman. And getting this shit kicked out of him is not Batman.
Yeah, that ain't fucking very Batman. And all this dialogue about like, I've tried to avoid all this, but I can't. That ain't Batman. Because Batman's like, I want this. And this ain't Batman either. Watch. He's like, I'm going to kill this guy. Yeah. Clearly could have knocked him unconscious, but fuck him.
No.
Down he goes. Batman kills in this movie. Yeah. Just like he probably killed a few Gothamites accidentally with some of that fucking fire at the Joker. We don't know, but we know he killed this fucking dude. And we know he killed all the people in the Axis chemical plant. Yeah. We don't know, but we can assume half of them at least got killed.
But he did damage to that place.
He's got a higher body count than the Joker in this movie. If you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, although we don't know how many people have the Smilex. We're not sure.
But there's no article about like thousands fucking slaughtered. There was a great moment in the book, and I think it was in the script too, in that moment where he's like, you know, into the air, Junior Birdman, and he's yelling at him from the helicopter, where he goes, like he says something, and then he goes, watch me, and he just takes off. But there was a line they cut out where he says, something like, follow me to the Gotham's, if you want to stop me, you have to go to the heart of Gotham City. I'm going to kill 1,000 people an hour until you do. Which is a fantastic fucking line. And if he had said that, oh my God, I would have been like, that's Batman. Well, that's the Joker right there. But he didn't, they cut that line. Yeah. I wonder if they shot it and then said this is too disturbing and cut it out. But that would have been a reason for that helicopter to stop, to taunt him into being like, I'm going to kill 1,000 people an hour until you show up or whatever.
And then not so much.
But instead, he just stops to be like, I'm here, and then takes off. And he could have killed Batman there. And this moment's the most fucking disturbing. Vicky Vale pretends to blow the Joker. In a PG movie, dude. This is a kid's movie. And, you know, she's like, oh, I love purple. And she's sucking his arm. And then she slides down the front of him. With there ain't nothing else but she's going to suck his dick, but she's faking him out so Batman can punch him in the face. But talk about a fucking weird fucking assist in a superhero movie. Like, thanks, little chum. What if he was just a few seconds too late, man? She's like, all right, I'm about to do it. I'm putting it in my mouth. Hurry up. I want it. And she's just standing in the shadows like, I want to see if she really does it. It's such a weird fucking beat of like, I'm going to blow you. And then you have the moment where Batman reveals to the Joker who the fuck he is without saying, I am Bruce Wayne, but he says, you killed my parents, without fully fucking explaining to this guy, you know, who he is. And then he calls him on and he's like, you say I killed you, guy, you know, you're copying me, you piece of shit. How childish can you get? I love this though. Wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? Huh? Bam! That's fucking Batman. A lot of people going over railings and precipices in this movie. Happens everywhere. And then our hero does it, where the Joker's strong enough to pull Batman and Vicky Vale over the top, man. Put them both in jeopardy.
He's got hidden reservoirs of muscle.
Yeah, I'll go. I would have forgiven a lot more if they would have let him say, I'm going to kill 1,000 people an hour until you do.
Yeah, because he's a real bad guy.
Yeah. And right now, I mean, he's definitely pretty much a psychotic bad guy in this, but that would have been just so fucking cool. And look, he tries to kill Vicky Vale, man. Batman, of course, scoops her up and fucking saves the day. But this was the movie where Jack Nicholson lived for he's still alive.
Yeah. Well,
you could have made a bunch of fucking Batman Joker movies, and they killed this Joker. And then the other Joker, they let him live. And then sadly, the real guy died. So it is a kind of ironic reversal here. Never understood why they would let him kill the Joker. That was a very un-Batman moment.
Well, it's all un-Batman.
It's true. I mean, the more you look at it. I mean, they even took away his parents' killer. It's no longer Joe Chill. It's Jack Napier.
This Batman is so off-model. Yeah. And it's just like, it's kind of this, and especially in light of Man of Steel. I remember lots of conversations that this Superman is not my Superman.
Yeah.
Nobody said that about this Batman.
And yet, you could.
Yeah, like
if there was an internet, there might have been a lot.
Yeah, like this Batman is absolutely not the Batman we remember.
The only problem, they wouldn't have said that about Man of Steel if there hadn't been Avengers or all the Marvel films before it. That's the thing. We were starving.
Yeah.
And this movie came and we're like, holy shit, it's kind of close to the comics.
It plays.
It's dark in its sensibility, which like the comics are. So, you know, we were happy to get it. But imagine if we'd seen this after like some really good fucking Marvel movies. You'd be like, oh, that's not Batman. He's not acting in a Batman way.
You're not doing anything that I recognize as heroic.
And right here is the least heroic thing. He fucking like essentially kills the Joker. I mean, I wonder, you could argue that he wasn't trying to kill the Joker. He's trying to stop him. Like the Joker should have let go of the helicopter ladder before the gargoyle breaks off, because now he's got, 500 pounds of stone weighing him down. And, if I'm the Joker, I'm waving to the helicopter to pull me over to the rooftop where I can fall with the statue.
But maybe these guys don't like him either.
Yeah, they're like, what? He's the terrible boss. Remember he shot Bob? Does anybody want to work for this asshole anymore? They're like, no.
We like Bob. Bob was the guy who always got us donuts.
Bob was a hell of a bowler. And he picked up bagels every Friday. Joker's an asshole. Let him go. And there he dies, man. Plummets to the ground, and nobody survives that, not even in a comic book movie. And then we get one last exciting beat where, oh, they're going to die too. And then Batman's like, oh yeah, I've got that thing that I could use to, good thing I didn't use it to fucking climb the stairs all that way back. He could have made it to the top of the stairs before the Joker if he used this device. Got up there, kicked the Joker down the stairs because apparently he didn't care. Everybody wins. He didn't even have to face the three dudes up top. They would have been waiting the whole time going, do you think it was CVS or Rite Aid that he said we're supposed to meet at?
Are we in plan B or C now?
Fuck, I should have listened closer. I was high. I wasn't listening. I mean, he's a funny guy. I like to get high and hang out with the Joker. And at this point, of course, we come back to the bottom and see that the Joker is very fucking dead and he's got a little laughing voice box. But this was so final.
Yeah.
And I guess it was like in the mold of 80s movies where you kill your fucking villain.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. They didn't do that in Star Trek Into Darkness. Khan lived at, spoilers. Khan lived at the end. And I found myself being like, well, this is fucked up.
Really?
Yeah. Like kind of like he should die. Like he's a big bad guy. He killed a lot of people. So maybe that's because I've programmed from 80s movies and shit. And so there they are. They're fucking killing him.
Yeah, like Gary Busey has to die at the end of Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
It's just what has to happen.
Yeah, but like the Joker, Batman, without the Joker, what the fuck's Batman going to do all the time? And here you got one of these ceremonies where everyone's just like, fucking A, we're thankful to this masked man who killed many with his flying bat jet.
With his arsenal of terror.
The most terrifying villain to hit Gotham since the Joker, the Batman. And of course, here's this moment here where she's like, oh, Allie, I'd never fuck you. And he's like, the whole movie, I was kind of hoping that you would, but I guess
little taste, not so much.
He's like, well, I'll go back to writing about Batman. I'll cover the beat. That's as good as having a woman. I'm alone. It's really the story of how fucking Alexander Knox gets no respect whatsoever. Yes. He's truly the hero. As I point out, he saved more people in Gotham that day than Batman. But he gets treated like a goddamn joke, man. Although they do let him ask about
the one
how
question.
to get in touch with him. Yeah. He gave us a signal. Bah! And then bam. Oh, this was cool. I remember seeing this in the movie and being like, yeah, bitch. The birth of the bat signal. And look at it. It's amazing. And then, here's this weird fucking moment of her running into fucking Alfred and shit. And she sees the bat light, which isn't like he's not being called to work. They're just showing people it works.
Yeah, just false alarm.
So
we're checking the batteries.
And now, it's just like, look, everybody, we're having a public ceremony for the world's worst kept secret, the vigilante light that will keep on top of police headquarters from now until the end of time. So, Alfred just picks her up in an alley. He's not worried about fucking, being mugged in Crime Alley as there's the couple with their child in the beginning of the movie. All is safe in Gotham because Batman's on the job.
Theoretically.
Somewhere. And there's, Mr. Wayne said he'll be a little late. And she's like, yeah, he's going to be late because he's Batman. But I'll tell you what else he's going to be. Alone. Right, Alfred? He's like, I'm sure I wouldn't know what that was, ma'am. And then we pan up all the buildings, the skyline of Gotham, to see Batman standing impossibly high in a position where he could do no good whatsoever.
Yeah, just kind of like,
This is why he can't fucking stop the mugging in the beginning. He's too high up. Since it's year one for him, he learns. He's like, by the fucking middle of my first year of this job, I realized the second floor roof is probably, probably the best to stop crime. It's not as cool because a lot of people could see you, but you're much more effective at battling crime. A cool image, of course, the movie ends with, that huge, Tracy Walter, that was his name. Uh-huh. Bob the Goon. Ends with that big fucking score, that Tim Burton score. Let's shout out Anton first, who fucking, did the production design and designed the Batmobile.
He did.
He killed himself years after this movie.
Like relatively recently, right?
It's
2000s maybe?
No, I think even before that.
Really?
I think it was early in my career. One day I read like he fucking killed, within 10 years of Batman coming out.
Didn't he design John Peters' office? I remember.
Yes, as well. I mean,
basically Jack Palance's office is now John Peters' office.
Right. I'm a number one guy. But he did a great job. Part of the magic of fucking Batman is the Batwing, the Batmobile, the look of Gotham City, the Monarch Theater, which we see over and over again. And he was responsible for that look, man. So him, Elfman, definitely Tim Burton, but, Jack Nicholson. And I even give it up for Michael Keaton because, you know, he had a take on Batman. It wasn't just, he wasn't doing Adam West. Mm-hmm. He was doing distracted, like, you know, like this Bruce Wayne nonsense was a waste of his time. He couldn't wait to get down the Batcave and be Batman. So I give him credit as well. But in descending order, let me see. What do you think is the most important aspect of this movie, overwhelmingly, which made a success? Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
I mean,
because like Jack Nicholson got the mainstream cred. It got the press. It got all of the attention. Was holy shit, Jack Nicholson is the Joker.
Right.
You pull that out of it, and I mean, even if you got somebody amazing who's not Jack Nicholson, I don't think it gets.
Robert Davi as the Joker. You loved him in Die Hard. You'll love him in this as well. Yeah, I would imagine the magic begins with him for sure. And then after that, I'd say the score, man. Score is fucking huge. And it made the movie bigger than it was.
Because it's so kind of plodding and slow.
As we've seen, as we just watched. It's like, you could probably count, maybe it's 20, 25 minutes worth of actual Batman. The rest of the time,
and half the time he's like standing and walking slowly. or running awkwardly.
Or watching people like fucking fall through a floor behind him. He's like, what happened? What was that? Oh, that was a close one.
I won that one? Awesome.
Me, yay, Batman.
One for me.
I'm a goddamn Batman. I would say the score made everything bigger, grandiose, made it seem, and also moved the movie along in places.
Yeah.
He crushed. That was a fantastic score. I don't think he ever did a score as powerful as the Batman score. Yeah. Don't have to. You start that fucking big, do whatever you want after that. The designs, Anton first, like the Batmobile, because they sold this movie on the look.
Yeah. And even like the kind of Teutonic feel of Gotham City and this very like German expressionistic giant statues of things with arms
fascistic statues mixed with the Art Deco and whatnot. Design. So of course Tim Burton plays a role. I mean, I ain't taking anything away from Tim Burton by any stretch of the imagination, but it's those are the elements that seem to have pushed it over the top, man. And just the idea that like, hey, it's a serious Batman as opposed to a campy Batman.
We're spending money on it. We're devoting resources to making a Batman for the modern world.
But that all being said, time better spent watching like let's say The Dark Knight Returns animated. That's a way better way to spend your bat time. Or of course the Nolan Batman movies.
Or like Heart of Ice, the animated series.
Just go to Batman the
3 or 4
series.
Great episodes of that show. Watch Mask of Phantasm.
Or write your own Batman story. You know, nobody's ever going to tell you the Batman story you want to hear as much as you can tell yourself if you wrote a Batman story. I mean, it may not get published, may not get turned into anything, but doesn't mean you can't do it for yourself, man. Let your imagination run wild, because I guarantee you, I'm trying to be fun. How do I do this diplomatically? It's just weird to grow up, I guess, and look back at something, this movie that I spent years of my life obsessing over and stealing from to put in my own art and shit like that. And to arrive at a conclusion at 43 where I'm like, it's a tough sit. Yeah. It's a bit of a tough sit, but without it, we don't get to the other ones.
No, without it, we don't get to The Crow. We don't get to Blade, which we don't get to The Punisher. We don't get to any of that stuff.
Yeah, and Marvel, we don't get to the Marvel movies.
We don't get to X-Men.
Because Marvel is just at this point, 1989 Tim Burton Batman, Marvel's got like the trial of the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
That's what Marvel's doing.
Dolph Lundgren's Punisher also comes out in 1989.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
And fucking Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
Same summer of 1989, the Batman movie. You could have gone to see Do the Right Thing or Batman or Roger and Me. Oh. These are the movies of the era. It's still, though, it's a part of our bad heritage. It's not terrible. It's not like you're watching the Roger Corman Fantastic Four or something like that. Utterly watchable movie, but just not Batman. There are moments where you're like, that's pretty Batman. But on the whole,
not so Batman.
A valiant first attempt at a cinematic Batman. PG-13. I said PG before, but PG-13.
I think we have to, at some point, acknowledge that Kim Basinger does get the Most Improved award because she won an Oscar.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah.
Like 10 years from this.
Are you right? It's 1989. Then she wins it for LA Confidential. You're right. 10 years later, she's good enough to win an Oscar. Well, maybe it's all the aggregated practice, Or it's just, they don't give her a lot to say in fucking Batman that makes a lot of sense. She's got a shit ton of screen time.
Yeah. But
like when you look and nothing to do or say. And you can't figure out what she does. You're like, is she a fucking journalist or a photographer? She's a photojournalist.
Right. I mean, LA Confidential, Curtis Hanson, and the material, and like the entire package is way better than this package.
Also, she has less screen time in that movie.
She does. She's in the movie like 20 minutes.
Yeah, compared to like when you look back at it, this fucking movie is really on Kim Basinger's shoulders.
Yeah. She spent 20 minutes waiting for Bruce Wayne to show up for dinner.
And we're kind of taking the journey through her eyes. Yeah. I mean, we meet Knox as a guy who's like, I'm investigating Batman, but we meet him for about 30 seconds before he's introduced to her. And it's kind of we're following her on the journey more than anything else. We're certainly not following Jack Napier. We're not meant to identify with the Joker. We're not meant to identify with Batman. They're not our guides into this weird world. Yeah. She is the Marilyn of this monsters bunch.
Yeah. And her relationship with the Joker is the spine of the movie.
Isn't that strange?
It's so bizarre.
Which if somebody said to you cold, you hadn't watched it, and they came up to you like, describe Tim Burton's Batman to me, you would never in a million years go like, well, it's a story about how the Joker wants Vicky Vale. But when you watch it, you're like, oh my God, it kind of is at a certain point for a section of the movie. It's like a couple different movies going on at once.
Yeah. And none of them are sitting next to each other at the same time in a way that makes sense.
Yeah. None of them as good as The Dark Knight.
No.
But that ain't my Batman. When synapses are firing my last, and I'm, Batman saved me from death. I ain't thinking about this Batman. Holy shit, no. If this Batman shows up, I'm welcoming the grave.
Yes. Let's get nuts. No, good.
I'm good over here. You get nuts. By the way, I know who you are. It's still a movie definitely worth checking out. Part of our Bat heritage and whatnot. Glad to have spun through it. Don't need to do it again for a little while. Next time we get together, me and Mark will go through, logically, the next one in the series.
Batman Returns.
We'll go through Batman Returns. We got to give it a little while, though, because I don't know if I can take another journey into Burton Batland again. Boy, it's just different. It's so different after the last 10 years. It's different. Not even after the Nolan Batman movies. Dude, it's different after Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, this is a story of a billionaire who wants to do good, and fucking, he's charming as fuck, and he's funny, and I like him better when he's not in the fucking suit. And so they found a way to fucking dial it up. Man, I remember he would walk around, what's his name, Robert Downey Jr., talking about the summer that Batman came out. It was Dark Knight and Iron Man. And he was going, why does anyone care about Batman? He's not cool. He's going he just hangs out in that cave. He's a pussy. He's going, Tony Stark is fun. He makes this shit. He's a genius. He builds his things. He operates. He puts himself out there. And he kind of chipped away at the Bat mythos a little bit, where I was just like, yeah, I guess he does hang out by himself.
Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, genius. Yeah. All the above.
And then one seems to be having a way better time doing
it.
And the other is kind of like, the pain. But still, even if with missed notes, it still can't diminish the fact that I spent a lot of money seeing this movie in a movie theater. I bought this on VHS fucking 5 times. Probably gave it as gifts. Bought this on DVD, Laserdisc, fucking Blu-ray. I've now bought a digital goddamn copy. 1989, Tim Burton Batman. Go check it out. Don't listen to what we have to say. Make up your own mind.
Can't go home again.
Yeah. You fucking summed it up best. Holy shit. Thank you for being here in the Fat Cave, sir. Next week, come on back and we'll chat up. We'll do some more Bat chat, if you will. Same fat time, same fat channel, smodcast.com.